You are about to enter a zone like no other. A zone which is uncensored and unfiltered. Starring Noel Glynn with Cheryl Glynn. Also starring Teddy the Terrier. You are watching the official Tardis zone. Prepare yourselves. This will be a trip of a lifetime.
Welcome everybody and welcome to the Tardis Zone live on this Wednesday evening. We will have the panel joining us. I just wanted to do it this way because always when I do the intro there's a big long pause and it just doesn't sound good. So I'm gonna invite the panel on now. I said I'd send an invite out as soon as we go live. But I do have a couple of things to actually say to you guys. As you know, yourselves, I've been talking about this for the last couple of streams, that a couple of YouTubers are getting together and we're planning a day of action. So here's the thing. We're not going to give any details, but all I'll say is this. The last two episodes of the finale, keep an eye out. I will be going live during those two episodes. There's a reason. So join me. I'm hoping, and if the other YouTubers are listening, I have sent you all a message. If you could do me a favor and read that message, and I'd like to know if you would be on board with this. You will see me reasons why, and I think this can actually make a difference. It's time that Doctor Who fans take a stand, and it's time to stop all the talking and actually be a fandom that actually takes action. Remember, everybody keeps saying to me that there's more of us, there's more fans, there's more of us on their side that are displeased. Well, let's prove it. Let's prove it. Let's do something. So, I will be talking, as I said, a couple of YouTubers have agreed to do this with me. And, you know, the more we get, basically, the merrier. But we are going to do something. I'm not going to give too many details out because for the simple reason is, number one, I don't want the Not My Doctor side to know what we're doing because, as I said, there is an element in that fandom, unfortunately, that have tarred the rest of the fandom when you use that hashtag. Also, I don't want to let, obviously, the other side know either what's being planned. So all I'll just say is this. Look out. I will give you further details. I will let you know who's on board, right? And then on the night of those two episodes, we will hopefully, if the plan comes together, I will be getting those YouTubers hopefully to commit to streaming at the same time while they're watching, and there'll be a reason behind it. So look out for all those channels. I will give you further details when I know what channels are on board. I will let you know then, and then what I'll say to you is the night of the actual two-part ending, right? The night of the two-part ending, the nights that they're on, we want you to come, especially on my channel and every other channel that we mentioned, whoever you're subscribed to that agrees to do this, be on their channel while the episode is going, because you'll be given details and then the plan will go into effect. Obviously, when we do it the first week, the plan will be exposed, but I'm hoping on the second week that when it does get exposed, that when people see what we've done, others will join in, and then on the second week, then we will have greater numbers. But we really need, look at the Fandom Menace did something, right? This fandom I've criticized over the past couple of years for not doing enough. If you are really serious about trying to save this show, or really serious about wanting this show to change and go back to the way it was, well, then we have two opportunities to do something about it. Now, I need you all on board. I need all my subscribers on board. And hopefully, if we get the other YouTubers to agree, we need their subscribers on board. Listen, this is going to be a mass movement that's never been seen before. Remember, there is more of us than there is of them. Okay, and there always has been, but they've had the loudest voice. It's about time that this side of the fandom also had a loud voice, and it's time that we take a stand once and for all. So I have sent messages to those YouTubers. Hopefully, I will get some reply back. Some have already agreed. The only thing I will say about this, if you do agree to join this little crusade, as we call it. Unfortunately, and I will say this, the bigger YouTubers won't mind because they get it every day, including myself. I get a bit of stick as well, but you're going to leave yourself open to be attacked. That is the only problem. So if you've agreed to do this, but once you're given the details, you will know whether you want to do it or not. But it's going to leave you exposed to a bit of trolling and stuff, because obviously then people will see what we have done, and it's nothing bad. It's just we're going to let everybody know that we're not happy, because if you hear the other side, this is a perfect series. They've always had the louder voice. It's about time that we did something about it. We've got 4 weeks, right? I've got 2 weeks now to get as many YouTubers on board before the 2 last episodes air. If I can convince enough YouTubers, we can actually do something and make a difference. BBC are vulnerable right now. I've received information which unfortunately I can't indulge, but what I will say to you right now is that this is the perfect time, if we ever had a time as Whovians, to strike at the heart of the BBC and get them to listen. Okay? Now, listen, I'm not giving false hope here, but it's about time that this fandom, as I said, did something for a change. Instead of sitting back complaining, sitting on his arses, sitting back complaining, it's about time that we actually took a bit of action. So we all need to band together as a fandom and actually do something. So if there's any YouTubers that are actually listening to me now that have, it doesn't matter how many subscribers you have, that is not the point. We're trying to band together as many YouTubers together. We want you to go live the night of the episode. I will give you more details. The more YouTubers that get involved, I will give more details. But it's all about, look, it's about you going live, and then it's all about your subscribers. We will need this fandom to act together. So, right, I'm going to introduce a couple of my guests that are here right now. I've sent out a few more. Sorry, Ted. I've sent out a few more invitations as well, see if we get any more people that want to join. But proud to introduce Mega Geek.
Hello.
Welcome, Mega Geek.
Hello.
Nice to have you on board, my friend.
Yeah, it's always good to come on your show. Always.
No problem. Nice to have you. Nice to have you. And of course, we've got the one and only, as I keep saying, 2-time world record holder of Doctor Who merchandise. We've got the one and only Ian O'Brien.
Hello.
Hello.
With Batman t-shirt on. Welcome.
Batman.
Yeah,
Welcome.
I'm on holiday.
The Michael Keaton Batman, might I add. What's wrong with the
I
there?
think so, yeah. Hi, Mega Geek.
Hey, what's going on?
How are you?
Well, nice to have you on board. You've probably heard a bit of what I've had to say tonight. I mean, for me, I think the time has come for us to all do something. And I think the idea that I have, I actually think is the best way. Well, I was told, right, I came up with the idea, as you know, on the live stream, to say that we all needed to band together. Then I got a message off someone saying to me, listen, just saying, love your channel, love what you've been doing. We agree. But we've got a way, look, just put it this way, right? as you all know, on this channel, I've been receiving information all the way, Jordan, the lead up to Series 12. This channel has been spot on about almost everything except obviously for Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall, because somehow something happened after the chaos in Cardiff and they just seem to be still there. But here's the thing. I do know for a fact, and this is a fact, BBC right now are worried. We have seen evidence on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb of them actually fiddling with negative reviews and taking them down. We have also, it's come to light, we've seen some posts up on Twitter as well claiming that the BBC are also actually taking down negative tweets. And it's also been reported the same on Facebook. But you see, there's certain things they cannot control. And I won't say any more than that for now, because I will say too much and I will reveal what we have planned, and then they can take steps to actually, counteract what we do. See, the reason why I'm getting you to watch us live on the night that we're watching the episodes, because we want to catch them by surprise. It doesn't matter, they won't know what we're actually going to do until the night that we actually do it. But it's time to take action. So I hope you all agree with me. I hope you will all get behind this channel. Of course, I will be a target again for these J-bots once the plan is actually enacted and everybody knows what it actually is. And then, so I hope you will stick by me. I'm doing this because I love Doctor Who. And if we don't do something, we will all regret it, in my opinion. We will regret it. There's no look. We love this show. Why are we sitting back and watching it being destroyed? I just don't get it. It's time that we did something, and I think we can. I mean, I'm at the finding another account that's basically taking me private details and putting them up on Twitter. Now, it's not me address or anything, but it's saying where I live and stuff like that. But they're taking screenshots. People that follow me can see that information, but people that don't follow me can't. So this person's deliberately like screenshotting stuff and screenshotting actually other members of the community's stuff. Twitter are actually gas they are, right? They'll actually ban me, right, for saying something like, "Oh, that's a clown, look at him, pile of shit," or something like that, right? And then these people are blatantly trolling with fake accounts, but yeah, we're the ones that get taken down. I was actually banned on Twitter for a while. It was actually gas defending myself against trolls. It's gas. Listen, I don't know if you've all seen it last night. I put a video up. So BBC apparently don't want American writers.
Oh, it's their mistake.
Now, I don't know if anybody has actually seen the article, but it's caused a little bit of an outrage. Because I think it was, if I'm correct in saying, if I read the article right, it's Stephen King's son. And he pitched a couple of ideas to the BBC, and their response was, no American has written for Doctor Who, and you certainly won't be the first.
Really? They said that to him?
Yeah.
That's really rude.
Yeah. Now, I put that article up last night. It's in video form. It goes on for about 17 minutes, I think, the video, because it's like I made sure that I put enough time for you to read each page, but it's actually quite startling. Look, it's the whole attitude of the BBC. Look, at this stage, I don't care who the feck trolls me anymore now at this stage, right? This is about Doctor Who. This is about saving this show. And these idiots, I mean, Stephen King's son, right? Fair enough. he's no Stephen King, but how do we know that Stephen King's son wouldn't have been able to write a decent Doctor Who story? I would. Do you know what? Someone said they would love to actually know what his pitches were. And you know what? I would absolutely love to know what his pitches were. Because it'd be interesting if there was, would he take after his father? Would there been a horror element to his episodes, or would he have done something completely different and stayed true to the show but did his thing? I don't know. I'd love to find out what his pitches are. I don't know if there's any Doctor Who fans out there that have actually asked him.
Can't be any worse than what they're giving us. Do you know what I mean?
It probably was something like New Who or Old Who, something involving something dramatic, aliens attacking or the Doctor defeating them, instead of waving a sonic thingy around and preaching to us. It wasn't probably preachy enough.
Yeah, probably.
It probably wasn't diversity and all that.
Yeah.
I just want to give a shout out to Matrix Lord there. He's having a few back problems there, mate. Best wishes. Get well soon, mate. I hope you're doing. I hope you be okay, man. Just rest up. That's just probably stress, my friend. It's probably stress. You know that happens with me. I get awful back pains brought on by stress. This fandom can really be testing at times, to be quite honest with you. But stay strong.
I had someone on Twitter basically that disagreed with me, and I ended that about Doctor Who, obviously, and I ended that conversation fast by saying, "I respect your review. I respect your view, and you're entitled to your opinion, and I'm entitled to mine. And God bless you." That's what I said, and then he said, "Thank you." So I think that's the best way to tackle them, really. I think, but obviously, not all could be dealt that way. Do you know what I mean?
No.
So, yeah.
I tried to be nice to that troll the other week. I said, "Well, as I said, you stopped following me, but as I'm a nice person, I will still answer your question." And what did I get for answering it? A load of abuse.
Yeah, doesn't always work, I guess.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to make this clear, though. If any YouTuber does do this with me, you're going to be open to some criticism, because you're going to be, especially from the other side, you're going to be, you're going to be categorized as you're going to get it worse than you've gotten before. If you think being called not a true Whovian and get out is going to be bad, it's going to be even worse. But I do firmly believe if we do this, we can sincerely. I really do think we can make a difference. I think BBC right now are as vulnerable as they have ever been in a good few years, and this is the time to strike.
I hope so.
And by the way, if you look at Captain Jack's appearance, did not get the bounce in the overnights that they actually thought. Right? It's a shambles. Right? It didn't materialize into the next episode after that. It's a shambles right now. It doesn't matter what they throw at this show right now. And we've got this whole Cyberman war being reported by the Mirror. And as I've said to anybody out there, if the Mirror reports anything on Doctor Who, you can be guaranteed that they're pretty spot on what they're saying. And also, BBC have actually shot themselves in the foot this week, because they've announced that they've put they're putting the license fee up to £3 English. Now, for people over 75 or whatever it is, it's absolutely disgraceful that they're still actually charging old age pensioners for.
Hang on there. Sorry, no, I'll interrupt you. That is not so much. That is partly them and also partly the government's fault. That before the election, the current government, who's now the same government, announced they were, along with the BBC, scrapping that for the over 75. So both are to blame on that. Not just the BBC, both.
I will agree with you on that one.
Not getting into politics, but I'm just saying.
This was a policy that was brought in by BBC and the government back in 2000 and something. It was. I will agree with that one. But
there's a way around it. If you don't want to fork out for that ridiculous piece of paper, or if you have a paper copy, what I did last year, perfectly legal. All we have to do is ring them up and tell them, I do not want the TV license anymore. Now, all that means is you cannot watch live TV or catch up on of live shows. So you can't watch iPlayer.
Yeah.
I have an Amazon Fire Stick, and I have a program that was on that. And I can watch actually on the Amazon Fire Stick through a program called Cyberflix, which was put on for me. The best way to describe it is, quote the second Doctor from the Five Doctors, I'm not exactly breaking the law, but I am bending it a little.
You know, they used to fool everybody when they used to have the adverts on TV with the TV detector van.
Oh, they don't exist, I believe.
That's what I'm saying. But years later, we found out that they can't do that. They can't detect that you're watching the BBC or any kind of TV whatsoever. So basically, it was a lie. For all those years they had those adverts, it was basically a lie. They never had vans like that, and they can never tell what you're watching. So,
They can come round. Sorry, they can come round now. If they haven't, goodness, come near me, they can come round, and I do not have to let them in. I can let them in and say, "Look,
exactly."
Watch it. If I refuse, they cannot do anything. They have no legal rights whatsoever. If you don't want to pay it, that's how I do it. I can still catch up with it. I can still watch it, but do not bother paying it. I can still enjoy lots of other shows. I enjoy YouTube, and I get up in the morning instead of BBC Breakfast, just watch YouTube, and I can choose what I'm watching so much. But this way, I've learned more about the world on YouTube in another year than I did watching the BBC.
I think you can go online and not pay. I think there's like a website for it, and you can
BBC, the TV license website. You can do it online, and you have to fill out a form, and you can get a rebate. If you are going to get rid of it, please do it legally. Not say I'm not going to pay any more reviews, because you will end up in heaps of trouble and you will go to court for it. It is not worth it. Just do it legally, because it's pretty easy, and you just do it by phone or internet and say I don't want it anymore. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say on that matter.
That's all right.
I want to show you something. No, may I show you something?
Yeah, go ahead.
We'll talk about BBC Beyond. Just to remind what happened with Doctor Who in the 80s. I want to plug this out. I hope you can see this. I've still got the front page. Look at that.
Doctor Who is axed in a BBC plot.
Wow.
I remember that. I remember literally reading that on the newspaper. That's madness, right?
That is the Sun headline. That is the actual original front page as well.
Yeah. That's the thing is though, with the BBC, right, the people at the top didn't like Doctor Who, and they planned to get rid of it, didn't they? But there was this big outcry from the fans, and they just put it on. They just paused it, didn't they, instead of getting rid of it completely, because they knew if they decided to ban it completely, there'll be a complete outcry, which there was. But Noel's right. The fans do have power to change what's happening, but I really don't know this era now. I really don't know if we could change them, but it's worth a shot, I guess.
No, we're not going to change Anthony's done, but we can halt it going any further. This is the thing. Be under no illusion. We're not going to be able to stop what Chibnall has done so far, right? It's done. It's already being written. It's already being filmed. It's done. But we can stop this from going further. And we have an opportunity like we've never had before to actually get our point across once and for all and to be heard.
Yeah. Well,
as it comes closer to the time, I'll fill you in, let you know who's on board, whose channels to look out for that night, and then follow the instructions that you're given. Simple instructions. And if everybody does what we tell them to do, then hopefully by Monday morning, there'll be stuff for BBC to get flustered about. Trust me.
So they're really pushing the last two episodes, the Cyberman attack thing, aren't they? They really are pushing it because they know that the ratings are flagging. So instead of pushing the next episode, which has nothing to do with the last two episodes, they're pushing the last two episodes in the media more so than the next episode, which which basically tells you that they're in trouble. Or more or less tells you that they're in trouble. Keep up the amazing work of Noel, your channel, so much respect. Keep up the amazing work. Also, so much respect to Ian and the Mega Geek. Keep up the amazing work, guys. Never stop being your, what's that? Amazing selves. Thank you very much, Galaxy Man. Cheers.
Matrix Lords, yeah, I know they're actually doing that at the expo, but here's the same thing, just because they're pitching Series 13, if enough fans, I'm telling you, there's a chance that Series 13 will happen.
You know, I think they're doing.
Not with Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker anyway. I'm sorry, but there is a chance this time. We need to believe it.
Yeah, what I think they're doing is this with her and him. We're not sure, I don't know about him, but I said this before with somebody else. Now, there was a rumor come out yesterday, I think it was, that the next series would not air until 2 more years' time. By that time, it's the year before the anniversary, and it would air on the autumn before the anniversary, the year before. That means that would be the anniversary season. So it would be over by, say, Christmas or January, and there'd be nothing in the anniversary year. And also, I think they want her to say, look, the female doctor worked. She stayed for X amount of years when she's only done but a handful of episodes. Like to Sylvester McCoy, he's technically the longest doctor because he was from, what was it, 87, 96. But in terms, I mean, Tom still, crown has not been touched. I mean, Tom is still the longest with the most length and the most episode, but because he was technically the doctor because he didn't regenerate, I think they might be trying to trick that with her. Because she was being the doctor since 2017 and she's stayed for what, 10 years or 6 years, whatever it is, I don't know. At the top of my head, just thinking, you know, they say, well, she stayed for 6 years, it's been a success, blah, 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 blah. It's up like that.
And the thing is that people know it's not a success. That's the thing. And you know, it doesn't matter what Access Media says about Doctor Who. Everybody knows, everyone with a brain, put it that way, knows that Doctor Who's failing. And the more they ignore it, the more they're going to be digging themselves a hole, you know, and you know, we don't have to do anything for them to fall because they're definitely going to fall. It's just a matter of time. That's all.
It's true. Hey, Mega Geek, did you see that? I posted it on Twitter. I came across it. I don't know who tweeted it, but a group of young fans who you think would be loving this series. This fantastic video.
Yeah, I saw it.
Or Chib.
Yeah, I saw it. It's funny.
A farce of him, and it was funny, but also spot on.
Yeah, it was. It was.
The best bit was how they got the name of the phone going on.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
As stupid as that sounds, I can believe it.
Yeah, so could I. That's the thing. But what's evident, okay, and this cannot be denied, is the fact that this this left wing all good women stuff happening right across the board, not only on Doctor Who, Star Wars, Star Trek. I mean, if people want to argue about Doctor Who and this stupid agenda that's going through, all you have to do is tell them to look at the other franchises, because the same things happen the other, and it's indisputable. Do you know what I mean? And I always wonder why people dispute it, especially when when somebody messages me on Twitter and says, well, you're wrong about this, blah, 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 blah. I keep thinking to myself, how comes they can't see this? How comes they can't see what's going on? I don't understand. Are they blind?
I tell you, I had someone yesterday saying, now what he said was true, that it beat Dancing on Ice, which it ought. But I always think, who can be doing better? Yeah, it was only by 0 point something. It still beat it, so you can't take that way. Overnight, I haven't a clue what the catch up on both were. But I probably do know on who, but I don't know what Dancing on Ice was. I've never watched it or I intend to. But I've been saying to them, look, and I got onto Doctor Who TV website and I posted a link. So I thought this time they can see it in black and white. It's not me just saying, there's the evidence. Look, you can see.
Yeah.
And another guy did a YouTube channel, He did a video on the ratings for it. And what he did, he went into the Capaldi era and he did like for like. he went down to like one night. Capaldi got 2.90 on overnights, but the catch up it went up to about 5 million. So Capaldi, although dropped off, but not as dropping off as much as she is.
No,
But I saw a video saying that one saying that we're wrong about it, because if you look at every other show that's come out, they're not going from 5 million views. All of them are kind of like 3, 2 million views. Do you know what I mean? That's their justification. Look, not only is Doctor Who only getting 2 million or even less than 2 million views, even Dancing on Ice is getting 3 million, even Sansa is getting 3 million. So it's not the only one. That's what they're saying. That's their justification. But who knows? I don't know.
there was a tweet out there by someone that said, because someone made the point that Dancing on Ice was beating Doctor Who.
Yeah.
On the week of the Captain Jack reveal, it beat Dancing on Ice by something like 500,000 viewers. Right?
Yeah.
So this tweet said, I don't know what everybody is moaned about. The fact that Doctor Who beat Dancing on Ice by over 500,000 views is sensational. And I was like, are these people worked? I've seen a lot of people keep saying, and you can keep saying it all you want, that BBC aren't worried about ratings. BBC are worried about the ratings, believe it or not. Right? They are. And I got this, by the way, from, as I keep saying, and I keep mentioning it, from well-established people, sources that tell me that the higher-ups did not expect this reaction to Series 12. It's after taking them all by surprise. They didn't think that it would receive the criticism that it's received. Even some of the media outlets, as you've noticed, that defended it last year, are criticising it this year. Even some that have defended some episodes of this series are also criticising the ones and calling BBC out on their agenda and their box ticking and all of this. The tide is changing. BBC is no longer as powerful as they were a couple of years. Right now, they've taken hit after hit after hit. They took a hit for the Christmas schedule. Now they're taking a hit over the TV license going up. Yes, it's not just them, but people are focusing on that and they're using that as an excuse to attack the BBC. BBC right now are vulnerable. Their two biggest IPs, which was strange because the TV Guide Zone, I think it was, that put up the ratings and what's been happening, right? What's telling is that Top Gear and Doctor Who are actually in the bottom three. If it was a Premier League table, they're in the bottom three. That's telling that BBC's two top IPs at one stage, which were Doctor Who and Top Gear when they had Jeremy Clarkson, the Hammer, and the Hamster and James May, right? When them three were there in Top Gear was the biggest show, right? Doctor Who was also killing it on a Saturday night as well, right? It was the second biggest show. If not, some weeks it'd be the biggest show. It all depends on the story. But those two IPs now are in the bottom three. And that just goes to show you with the problem with the BBC. And the other shows, yes, might be performing okay, but they're not performing great. Doctor Who should be blasting all of these shows out of the water the weekend. And don't keep making excuses, because I've seen people say, well, it's because it shifted to a Sunday night. Well, it didn't make a difference on the first episode of Series 11. Nearly 11 million people watched. Don't be using that as an excuse. Just keep using that as an excuse. If it was put on Saturday night, it'd be crucified even further. So you're even lucky. This is why you have even a chance to even say something and even have an opinion now at this stage still. It's because it's on a Sunday night. This was on a Saturday night. You wouldn't even have an argument. None of your points would be valid because the show would be cancelled. Okay? That's the bottom line.
Could somebody find? Is there any way of finding out how many people watch, say, Coronation Street when it's broadcast? Because that will give you a true definition of something that's really popular and something that used to be popular. Do you understand what I'm saying? If Coronation Street had I don't know, 5 million watching, on one day, then that definitely tells you that Doctor Who is really underperforming, because their reasoning now is because TV has changed so much. There's loads of different platforms. People don't watch it when it's aired, and that's their reasoning to keep Doctor Who on. They're saying, it reaches 2 million, it reaches maybe 1 million and a bit, whatever, but that's okay because they'll get it on other platforms. A lot of people don't watch it when it's aired; they watch it later on and stuff like that, and that's always been their argument. But if you compare it to something as popular as Coronation Street or EastEnders, I'd like to see the comparison between them both. I know Ian's looking now.
Apparently there's a live viewer count. You can actually tell how many watch at the start, then during the episode, and how many watch at the end. See, here's the thing. Doctor Who has sandwiched itself between two shows that are popular on a Sunday night. So they're very clever. We're not getting a true representation of the numbers. What you need to do is you need to find out who's watching during the episode. Say a half an hour after the other episode is watched. That's where you'll get the true figure. These figures that BBC are pumping out right now are not even the right numbers. They're being hammed up because obviously they're sandwiched between two shows that are popular on a Sunday night.
Yeah. You take an example like Morecambe and Wise Christmas special, 21, was it 21, 22 million? Watch that. Do you know what I mean? That was in the 70s though. So, that's huge. That's like half of London basically watching it.
Right, sorry. I've got this website here, Barb.
Yeah.
Right. This is 20-week period, 20th of Jan to the 26th of Jan. And some programs, I go just find them. So Call the Midwife is doing very well. Let's see, I can't, it's a difficult website to read. But it looks like it's getting around, actually it got over, I think it capped up over 8 million.
Wow, 8 million.
Yeah,
well, that's just show, doesn't it?
But Ben is actually at the point up there in the chat. He said Midwives is on Series 9. Their consolidated has never dropped below 8 million. They always get 8 to 10 million consolidated figures.
Well,
Doctor Who in its heyday, that's what it used to get, right? And it's nowhere near that. These gobshites think that this series is actually a success.
Well,
you laughed at.
There's your proof then. There's the argument. They can't argue against that. I mean, Call the Midwife. I mean, Jesus, 8 million. Doctor Who, 2 million and a bit, or even 1 million and a bit. That's crazy. That's justification to actually stop Doctor Who. Do you know what I mean? So
Ben says check Wiki. You'll get the stats on Call the Midwife on Wiki.
Yeah, I'm just not the way Bob has laid it out. I've got like you get two programs at once. It's a bit confusing. Like, for example, you get Call the Midwife, and then you got Coronation Street as an Irish ITV breakfast total. I can't work that out. So perhaps someone, said a better link.
I mean, let's face it, right? Sorry, go ahead, Ian. Go ahead, mate.
No, carry on.
No, I was just saying, let's face it, right? I mean, Coronation Street and Call the Midwife has been on for what, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years now, something like that. I mean, they've built up a strong fan base, and because they've given the audience what they want to see, they've created original stories, they've literally, given the audience what they want to see. Doctor Who is not. Doctor Who is not giving the audience what they want to see at all, and I don't understand this logic at all. I really don't understand it. If you were in charge, you'd be really scared at this moment in time. I would if I was the showrunner. I'd be tearing my hair out.
But he's not. Anyway. He's an arrogant little sod. Doesn't give a shit. That's the point. And Doctor Who has had a fan base for over 50 odd years. So that's built up a fandom over 50 years. It should be still beating shows like Call the Midwife and EastEnders.
I'll interrupt you, Noel. I've just got some information here on viewing figures. Right, episode. This was a while ago, but this is episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
Now consolidated to 5.38 million. 5.25 on the TV only. So that's all who watched it on TV. Compared to the equivalent of Series 10 figures, which the current series seems closest to, the Series 10 got 6.68 million episode 1, 5.98 episode 2, and 5.61 episode 3. Series 10. Series 12. About the same for the opener, 6.70 for Series 12, episode 1. 5.4, slightly less, 5.91 than episode 2 of Series 10. And then comparing the next episodes, 5.61 for episode 3 of Series 10 and 5.25 for episode 3 of Series 12. So she is losing. Yeah, because there's one person to follow on Twitter. He's a BBC Entertainment's correspondent, Lisa Mazimba. He normally tweets them, but he hasn't done them for a few weeks now. Or Thomas Spilsbury, the former editor of Doctor Who magazine.
Yeah, he probably is being told not to put them up because they're trying to justify them every time. Because when he puts them up, I remember the first week he put them up and then he said, "Oh, but BBC are relying on strong word of mouth," and I was like, "Really? Is that how low Doctor Who has dropped that they're actually relying on word of mouth now?" Doctor Who shouldn't be relying on word of mouth. Doctor Who should be bloody, that name itself should attract people. So that's how low we've fallen. That's how low the show has gone.
When they showed the trailer, I remember they showed a trailer for Spyfall, whatever it was called. I wasn't excited at all. Looked at the trailer, I was like, okay, hoping it'd be better again. But I was like, okay. Every time, even when Peter was around and they did trailers for Peter's stuff, you'd get really excited. You'd be like, yeah, let me watch that. But this goes to show, don't it, that it's complete. Doctor Who's completely wrong. I'm sorry to say this, right? Please don't hate me, people, for saying this. But Doctor Who's completely wrong having a female doctor. It just doesn't work. It really doesn't work. I know it's the writing, and I know it's the showrunner, yes. But for me personally, having the Doctor as a female doesn't work for me. So. I think they should put it.
You're a hater now. You'll be called a hater, misogynist. Goodness me, you've let yourself in for it now.
Oh dear, oh dear. But
I don't really care what they call me now at this stage, whether they like it or not. This fandom has been built up over 50 years, as I said. They're used to the Doctor being one gender. When you suddenly change that gender for no apparent reason and don't have a strong enough reason to do it, or within the narrative of the show, well, then you're going to have this kind of reaction. I mean, I don't know how BBC thought they could actually get away with this, right? And actually think that fans would be happy. Look, there's certain things out there in life. We all have our comforts in life, right? Whether it be ice cream or stuff for TV shows like that. We just don't want them to change. And then when some do change, fans find it very hard to adjust to those changes. And that's exactly what's happened. That's nothing about being sexist, misogynistic, homophobic, transphobic, whatever phobic word you throw out there, J-bots, right? At the end of the day, it's nothing got to do with that. You cannot just come in and change an established character because you think it's the right thing to do, because Doctor Who should be more diverse and give women a stronger role in Doctor Who. What you've done is you've given Jodie Whittaker a token role, which she's totally out of her depth and is actually making the movement weaker, because you've put her in a position where she has a showrunner that is incapable of writing for a woman, firstly. Second of all, she's just not up to it. And third of all, his team of writers, which are rolled up yesterday, They don't know how to write complex characters. When they bring LGBTQ characters in, they literally have them on screen for a couple of minutes just to say that they're gay, lesbian, bisexual, whatever it is, and then they either kill them off or they don't give them a story arc that we can get behind them and actually feel some emotion towards those characters. He treats diversity as he doesn't do it properly. He doesn't show it the respect that it should have when he introduces different characters from different backgrounds, from different cultures. He doesn't do that. He doesn't know. He just puts them on the screen. There's your couple of minutes. Bang, you're dead. Right?
It's a token. It's always called a token.
Exactly. And that's what it is. And these people need to open their eyes. This is not true representation, these idiots. These are actually doing more damage to the movements that you all support when you support this era of Doctor Who.
Well, I'll always say this, right? I'll always say this. I really wanted the Jodie thing to work. I really did. Hand on heart, right? When my heart was broken when I saw Jodie was the new Doctor, especially that trailer. But, right, saying that, I really wanted it to work. I really wanted to see a good Doctor Who with a female. I didn't think the agenda was going to swamp what we were going to see. That's the big mistake that they made. They, if you're going to have another Doctor, why is it a black woman? Why couldn't it have been a black man? You see, this is the thing. And with that, right, with that evidence, you can tell that agenda, they're still sticking to that agenda. And two fingers up to the fans, that the true fans, in my opinion, that want Doctor Who to be good. Even the Jodie bots, right? If you ask them, they want this to be good as well. And and some of them admitted that some of the scripts are really terrible. So I've spoken to some of them.
That's what baffles me, but they'll still defend it.
Yeah, but they have to. They have to, don't they? Just like you have to defend yours.
You know this is a pile of crap. You know this isn't true representation. And when you just stick these characters in and the story actually takes a backseat and you don't develop these characters properly, well, then it's no wonder that fans get turned off so easy.
But they're treating it like a kids TV show. That's the mistake.
That's an insult to kids TV. Sorry.
It is, because if you watch some of the kids TV shows, sometimes they don't have character development at all. It's not important for kids. This is how they're treating Doctor Who, like a kids TV show. Look at the
way RTD did it, right? You had Captain Jack, right? Okay. You also had under Moffat, you had Bill Potts, two of the most perfect examples, right? You had Jenny and Vastra as well. Even though that was, a human and a lizard, it was still two females together. We have had diversity in Doctor Who. The thing about it is when the other showrunners did it, they actually treated those characters with respect and actually gave them decent bloody stories, and we got behind them, and we were actually sad when some of them left Doctor Who. We were devastated when some of them actually left Doctor Who, and that's the way we're supposed to feel. But now Chris Chibnall's just interested in just squeeze as many of these characters in. Let's tick all the boxes, and we'll give the characters nothing of substance to actually work with, right? And you are doing a disservice. Every single movement that you all support, whatever it is, whatever years our beliefs are, you are doing a disservice to those movements when you support this era of Doctor Who. It's nothing to do with any phobias or any fucking sexist, misogynistic thing. This is tokenism, and that's what it is, and you have to accept that. And that's why this show is going down the pan. And if you don't accept that, you are going to see this ship sink even further. And you know what? You should be actually taking our side of the argument once and for all, and actually coming over to the idea that maybe they're not actually doing this properly. And let's get a show that actually represents everybody properly.
I think I've said this before. This is what they should have done, right? They should have kept the Doctor a man, but also have Romana as the Doctor's companion. Because then you will be pleasing both sides. You have a Time Lord. There'll be a Time Lord, a female Time Lord, and the Time Lord that we love, right? And then you will balance them both. They'll be both as powerful as each other, both as strong as each other. Maybe they both need each other. Maybe she can go off and have a spin-off series. That's what they should have done. But they were blind by the agenda. They were blinded by the agenda. And this is what we've got now. We've got this, If they're so diverse, that's what they should have done.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
you
that
know,
poster
time
that
lady.
before the series actually aired was quite telling, where they wrote space for everyone. It was a little campaign that they had to kind of say to the us Whovians that you know, we were still included in this era. But the thing that actually strikes me is that even as you have both alluded to, even some of the J bots haven't like this, and they've even tuned out, and that's what you're actually seeing as well. Some of them have actually, you know, came around to the idea, well, maybe this is just all tokenism, maybe this isn't being done properly, and also the Chris Chibnall's writing. Thanks be to God, and I hate to say this, but thanks be to God, it's so awful, because at least we can concentrate on how bad it is and actually put the focus more on him and his writing team. They are responsible for the mess that we're in right now. And yes, some might believe that Jodie Whittaker is okay for this role. That's fine, fair enough. I believe she was miscast, and I think you could see that it's not all her fault, but she hasn't helped herself
I know.
either, right? So I will defend her and say that Chris Chibnall has done her an injustice by, number one, hiring her in the first place, and second of all, by giving her mediocre scripts to work with. But she's not that talented of an actress, in my opinion, to pull these mediocre scripts off like Peter Capaldi was. Now, I know Mega Geek always makes the point, and I will say this to be honest about this argument, it's all got to do with the way she's being directed.
Yeah.
Yes and no.
Knows I kind of disagree with that statement, because the way I look at it is, if you're a good enough actress, you should, you know, if your director tells you something and you think it's wrong, well then, if you're that good of an actress and you think and you have conviction, you would go and say, no, that's not how I think you should play it. All actors and actresses do it. Yeah, if she's shot down, but at least she bloody tried.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the point. And I don't see her doing any of that. And
No.
some comments as well have been pretty, you know, haven't helped her either. But as I said, this isn't about her anymore. This is about the direction the show is going in. What Chris Chibnall is doing, we do not know. And what his writers, look at. Someone did an article about why, try to justify why this series was earthbound. I think they didn't try justify it. They said, I think they said in the article, I haven't read it all, so I'll have to read it all, pull it up for you tonight. But apparently it's because of the writers, because they don't know how to write sci-fi. So that's why this series is more earthbound, because there's no excuse. Because I know the J-Bots always bring up John Pertwee, right? But you see, here's the thing. You always quote things, but you obviously don't know the background, because you never do use a research. So here's a little history lesson for you. After the war games, or just at the end of the war games, the Doctor, Patrick Troughton, was forced into regenerate. The Time Lords regenerated him, and he was forced into exile on Earth. Okay, so he was forced into exile on Earth. The Tardis power, as he said, was taken away from him. Okay, so he couldn't get off the planet. Didn't stop him from trying to get off the planet, in all fairness to him. He did try a couple of times to get off the planet, but he was exiled there. Jodie Whittaker's Doctor is not exiled there. Okay? Now, unless this is some story arc that we don't know about, that Chris Chibnall has decided to do and we have no idea of, well, then there is no reason why she shouldn't be in outer space like the rest of our counterparts. I think she has spent, bar Pertwee, as we know, I think in New Who, I think she's probably spent more time on planet Earth so far than the rest of our predecessors. Ian, I think you tried to figure that out, didn't she? She's definitely up there anyway at this stage, isn't she? Like, we're back on Earth again next week.
A brief history, like you touched on. You see, when we started, his first season, season 7, Karen Stick has gone on the record, and Barry Letts been on record saying that they inherited this. I think Eric Sherburn was the producer, and I think he only stayed for the first episode Spearhead, and then he bowed out. He went on to other things. They'd already written it in, you know, for saving money, the Doctor to be exiled to Earth. And of course, Terrence Dicks and Barrett didn't like the idea. But they must admit they took their time getting the doctor off her. But they used to try and find ways of getting him off. So we had that colony in space was the first time the Time Lords set him on a mission. But she seems to, when the Tardis dematerializes at the end of the week, what does it do? Just go up into space and park by? Just put the handbrake on and wait, see what's happening on Earth. Oh, look, it's raiding on Earth. We're bringing it back down.
The sad thing about this is that all of this could have worked if they did it right. If they wanted to stick politics in there, they should have done it subtly. If they wanted a female doctor, they should have made sure that they cast right and she had a good story around her and one companion. If they wanted to have strong female characters, they could have done it, but they didn't. They just blatantly. I mean, what told us what they were going to do was that stupid ad with the break in the ceiling with the glass. That's what told us what was coming. I remember Gary was going, that's about subtle as a hammer. Do you know what I mean?
That was cringy, though. That was actually cringy. That was the cringiest thing they could have done. And I mean, the fandom was already up in arms, and then they go and do that. Last year, Chris Chibnall just didn't give a crap, and he seems to have the same attitude again this year, except Cassini's writing that he has contempt for fans like Ian and myself and others that have come out against this show and this iteration of this show. And it's not on. But you know what? We will have our say. We will have the final say. If we make a difference, brilliant, right? And I don't want some people out there saying it's a waste of time. They're not going to listen to us. But at the end of the day, I wanted to be on the record that this side of the fandom actually took a stand for what they did. And that's what it's about right now, taking a stand for what you believe in. And we all believe that this show should be better quality. So on that end, we should, we stick together, we might make a difference. But we're not going down without a fight. Right, I've got another guest coming on. I'd like to introduce channel regular, as always. Love having her on, and Jason, of course. We've got Blue Bonnet Hoovian.
Hey guys. Hey guys, how y'all?
We're doing good. We're actually having a quite civilized well, we always do on this channel, but I mean, we're kind of having a chill out conversation about, obviously you've been listening a little bit about, the show and what we're thinking of doing, and
No, I actually just came on the panel. I was working on something and
all right, we're planning something. I'll fill you in with the details later on anyway.
Okay.
I'll go into a bit more detail with you anyway about it, because
it was 6 episodes last year. She was on Earth out of the 10.
Yeah.
Resolution was on Earth, and then as far as I know, every single one this year has been on Earth.
It has. And there was an article put up. Blue Bonnet, was it your video I was watching? Did you do? Was it you?
Yeah.
The Earthbound.
Yeah.
For people that haven't watched your video, could you just tell people what the video is about? Just give a brief synopsis.
Yeah, it's just an article I saw on Radio Times where they were asking the question, why are most of Series 12 Earthbound? And of course, it just seems like to me they were making excuses for Chris Chibnall, like, well, it could mean this, could mean that. And my point is that, look, they're giving Chris Chibnall way too much credit. The point is that he really can't write sci-fi, and this is just a way for him to promote his agenda and relate it to Earth.
Yeah,
it's not his agenda; it's the BBC's agenda. We must remember
that is true, and yes, that is very true
as well.
Yeah,
sure. As well, because as I said to Daniel, I heard this. You would think the BBC, his pay him his wages, the bosses. But I've heard that he wanted to do things his way, and they've had to just let him get on with it. He could say, "Oh, sorry, I'll walk away from this. I don't like what you want me to do." It takes two to tango. He's just responsible for the show because BBC say, right, here you go, here's a wad of money. Please make it as diverse as you can. And he goes and makes it blinking well diverse.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Totally agree.
See,
Yeah, I agree with Mega Geek too. I think the BBC wants this as well.
They do. They do. It's obvious they do. Because if you look at Dracula, look at all the shows that's come out made by the BBC recently, they have that gender going through it. So it's not a mistake that it's just ended up on Doctor Who. It hasn't.
But Dracula was, sorry, Dracula, I watched that new Dracula, I just finished it the other day. Now, that was up to date. Dracula was up to date. I thought really well written. Excellent written. Look who wrote it as well. But this thing, as I said the other day, this is Doctor Who in name only now.
It is. No, it is. No, I totally agree. I mean, as I said, I was just saying before, they could have easily done what they wanted to do and please the fans as well by making it subtle and not banging us over the head with all this stuff. They could have made it subtle. If you look at the other Doctor Who's, when they were making a social statement, it wasn't shoved in your face. It was part of the story. Exactly. It was in the part of the story, right?
Oh, Mega Geek. You're delighted to hear that because I have argued this with people. And I go, oh, they've done this before, Doctor Who. Go way back to 73. One example, environment issues, green death.
Yeah.
Look how perfect that is. It's a brilliant story. It doesn't ram it down your...
No, it doesn't, because it was part of the story. That thing was part of the story. And that's the thing. They could have easily done that with this one, but for some unknown reason, well, we know the reason because the writers are all crap. They just hammered it. You know, there's no disguising it or anything. They just shoved it in your face.
So are you
a bad story?
Are you guys talking about how like Classic Who had political statement?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the difference was back then it was more balanced.
Exactly.
It wasn't just one-sided. It wasn't left. It wasn't right. It was, and sometimes there was more a right-leaning story, and sometimes there was more a left-leaning story. It was more balanced.
Yeah, it was balanced. It was done within the narrative of the show. The story did not take a back seat, right? It didn't take a back seat. This is the problem. And this is just, I'm trying to educate you J-bots out there, right? This is why we have a problem, right? When you put agenda before the story, this is what happens with the series, right? You lose viewers and you lose the interest of the general public. And why? Because nobody in the general public wants to be smashed over the head with political messaging and social justice warrior bloody feckin' messages, right? We want a story. If you want to do it, you can do it in the show. That's acceptable, and fans won't mind. They've done it in past eras, right? And has worked very, very successfully. They've done it within New Who as well, and it's worked very, very successfully. Chris Chibnall is the problem here. He can't do it. The message for him is more important than the story. That's why the stories in this series, particularly, have really no substance, like Series 11. They've no substance. You take away those political messages and you just look at what you have. You have nothing of substance. Isn't that right, Ian? I mean, you've got absolutely nothing of substance.
Yeah, I just want to bring something up, talk about like those that he would want to be watching it. A girl at work is 17. He started watching Doctor Who with Christopher Eccleston. Her doctor was David Tennant. He loved the Sarah Jane Adventures. But she has given up now on this. She thinks it's terrible rubbish. And she said about the TARDIS, her words were, oh, I hate that TARDIS. And this is a 17-year-old. I mean, people just have turned off from it. They literally have. This is sad because he is ruining it. But another story in the Pearl era, a year later, the very kind of did in a story, although science fiction, it was well done. Have you all seen, I take it, Invasion of the Dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I've watched that story, yeah. Yeah, man.
You know how
they
wanted to bring the Earth back to a golden age.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a fantasy. But the way, there could be a group of extreme people who would like sort of that thing. It was understood their message. You could understand what they wanted. And another one, even the Happiness Patrol had a message in it, like based on everyone must be happy. That was entertaining. Here's another one. Talk about, Chibnall wanted to bring back the history element. I remember learning about why dinosaurs wiped out in just a few lines from Earthshock. I never knew because Earth collided with a meteorite. Well, now we know it's the space shuttle with Adric on board, but we know it was Earth collided with something. The doctors don't want to pop back. No, I learned that in the first Earthshock. It wasn't around 2030. It was you said making parts of the story.
Yeah, it's clever. It's clever story writing. That's
exactly.
And this is like, anyway, we're not surprised. They've got writers from BBC TV, kids shows and soaps, and a stage play woman who I can't remember her name. No wonder why the scripts are terrible. So that's the thing. We know it's all bad, but the question is.
And the BBC refuses to hire people that love the show. Look at Joe Hill. That article that's come out, Stephen King's son.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah.
So yeah, they're not interested. They're interested in diversity and.
But the thing is, it's not diversity.
You are actually right about the anti-American sentiment. That just actually proves it.
Yeah. Well, he's also got other two things. He's white and male as well. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, it actually does prove it's evidence. But listen, as you know on this channel, I've had run-ins with a couple of Twitter accounts on, obviously, Twitter. But the feminist movement, especially of this Doctor Who fandom that we now are in. Now, this group has managed to get a video taken down that I did last year, as you know. The Sisterhood of Karn, whatever they would call themselves, right? Now, they put out a tweet, right? And the reason why I want to highlight this, because this is they know the game is up, so they're lashing out now. And this is what they said. The ratings are lower because dickheads don't watch hashtag Doctor Who anymore. The racists and homophobes and the misogynists have switched off. Good, there's still plenty of audience. Let's not dumb it down for the tickos, right? Now, this was a response of a guy who has kids who have watched the show. And this is what he said. Now, I won't mention his name, but this was his response. I don't know if name calling is helpful. My kids, 7 and 11, absolutely loved Series 10 and 11. But for whatever reason, they had no interest in this one since Spyfall Part 1. There's a lot more competition now. I think most people are on Netflix. And then these idiots said, which group should we lay off? The racists, the homophobes, the misogynists, right? Hold on, I think I've got the reply. And then they say, also the dickheads have switched off. We didn't say that everybody not watching is a dickhead, right? They tried to backtrack a bit. But we reserve the right to slag off racist, homophobes, and misogynists as we see fit. And they say F them. Now,
they're using their own determination to decide who's a misogynist and a racist and all these things. They have no proof of this.
I know they are.
Other than just assumption.
Yeah, well, there is a small minority, as we do know, out there.
Yeah, there are.
That have been racist and stuff. But what I would say to those girls, or those women that are behind this account, you seem to have a problem with men anyway, because I've seen most of your tweets. You've ended up actually deleting me because I got the better of you in an argument, but then you went off and bitched to YouTube because you were actually getting some hate for the stuff that you were coming out with. I exposed you as bullies, but yeah, I was the one that had to take down my video, and you continue to bully people. At the end of the day, you might not agree with people for the reasons they're not liking Doctor Who, but you do not actually like you said, you do not have the right to call out people. It's a small minority of people actually that we are disgusted by in the fandom. Also, we do not agree with their beliefs. Some of us don't like a female doctor, but it's nothing got to do with being sexist or misogynistic. It's just got to do with the fact that it's been a certain way for a certain amount of time. And as I said, it's like people like their home comforts. People don't like things being messed around.
Well,
I
I mean,
hear someone got their computer. It's someone got their computer.
not me.
Not me.
Not with speakers because we're getting a lot of feedback.
Not me.
Not me. I got pretty much everything shut down except
Yeah.
StreamYard.
Same here.
I can just hear me in the background. See?
Weird.
Maybe it's the BBC.
Yeah, they're.
Do you know what? I'm a great believer in karma. You know, if somebody, if somebody attacks me, not physically, obviously, I'm a great believer in letting karma take care of them personally.
That's true. It's really not our job,
Yeah, exactly.
you know. But
But
I mean,
the
if
thing is-
people are saying racial slurs and things, absolutely call them out. If they're being real like upfront with it, but if they're just saying like, look, I don't like Jodie Whittaker and I don't like this new doctor, this new canon they're trying to put into Doctor Who with Joe Martin, then that doesn't make someone a racist.
Yeah.
I think we'll just have to wait till Ian comes back because
Yeah, I think that's
we're
his.
getting a lot of
Yeah.
feedback.
Yeah.
What we'll do is we'll just
He should have muted his computer.
yeah,
Should have
see?
muted it. Yeah. That's me. Look, listen. Hello. Can you hear it? That's me. And seriously,
Mr. Piggy reviews Mark, yeah. Yeah, Mr. Piggy reviews decided to have a go ball track because his channel's not doing too well. You know? Look at those review videos that he's doing. They're not actually doing well. Whereas if you look at my videos, the reviews that we're doing on the panel every Sunday with Blue Bonnet Hoovy and a few others, we're actually getting double the views. So you know what? Their channels are in trouble. They're trying to pick on Paul Streck and others to make themselves and make their channels more noticed because nobody is watching their reviews because the series is actually going to shit. But they keep lying to themselves and keep telling themselves that this is all right. So let them. You know what? Their channels will die. Their channels will die. If they don't join their side, they won't have a channel next year. Nobody will.
Yeah. I mean, for me, right, if anyone says anything bad, whatever, I don't respond at all. And if they get worse, I just block them, you know.
Yeah, that's the best way to deal with them.
It is. I mean, it's pointless, you know. I more or less don't talk about it either. It's pointless. Yeah.
Horrible feedback.
Yeah,
yes,
it really is.
From Ian's computer.
We'll have to wait. We can't say anything because
I know it's driving me insane.
Yeah, I don't know. Seriously, you know, there is a way of saving Doctor Who, in my opinion. Though there is a way of saving it. There are like 100 ways of saving Doctor Who.
Do us a favour, Mega Geek. Don't say anything for a few minutes because we're losing viewers because there's horrible feedback.
Okay.
And Ian, if you can hear me, could you do us a favour? Could you put the mute button on? I hope he's all right, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, the two ages. Can you mute Ian until he goes? Oh, can I mute him? All right, hold on. There. Is that better?
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
What was it?
Well, I didn't know I could mute him on my side, so.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. Okay. I didn't know that either.
No, nor did I. So you can censor me anytime.
Right, any
Noel,
of us.
can't you? Any of us, Noel. You've got the power.
I got power. This is the song that we're going to be singing to the J-Bot. And now the end is near, and so I face
You know what?
the final curtain.
The J-bots are just fighting for their side, just like
It's
us.
heading down.
Let them do their thing, is what I say.
Train. You bloody idiots. You've not supported this. You J-bots deserve every single bit of it.
Well,
They're
good luck
still
to
trying
them.
to defend it. They're still trying to defend it.
I
And
can't
I
be.
just
But you know what? I will say one thing. It pisses me off because he's
Well, you shouldn't let it piss you
the
off.
show that I love, and you know what?
But
I'm not. We are not. After this, right? After this series ends, we're not finished. We're not finished. I'm gonna settle a few scores as well. Actually,
yeah, but no, you shouldn't let it piss you off, though. Seriously, it just like, you know. I mean, I love Doctor Who. You know, I'm really passionate about it, but. You know, stuff like this, life is bigger than all of this. Do you know what I mean? And to let them piss you off,
well,
is
yeah,
checked.
but when the show means a lot to you, and the show kind of saved your life, I think you get past all that shit. So.
Yeah, but you got to be clever enough to not let them affect you. Otherwise,
don't get me wrong. These idiots are not affecting me.
Well, okay.
Right, we'll have to tell them that we had to mute you in because there's interference with your computer.
Oh.
Yeah, you left the sound on when you walked away, so when we were talking, there was an echo.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I just eating my cats.
So we'll have to fire you now. So,
you're
You know.
fired.
you're fired.
Just like Chibnall for your fire.
Right.
It's
I'll turn
grand.
to the Jodie side.
Here, come here. BBC will be looking for a replacement for Chris Chibnall, so you
Yeah.
can always ring them and say, "Listen, you're
You
available."
know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they replaced Chibnall with a female showrunner.
Oh, don't
Well,
say
But I don't
that.
care. But I don't
As long as
care.
she's as long as she's fair, as long as she's good.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, but she
like
won't
she's
be,
good to the
though.
fans, but it won't be. You're right.
Yeah, it'll be gender.
Have you watched the season example? Any of you got the season 26 Blu-ray box set?
No.
No.
I wish I did though.
They have they've done it twice with them. I can't remember the woman's name, but they do like behind the sofa. So basically, people from the show sit on the sofa.
Okay, yeah, I've seen clips of that.
Mm.
And they give their reaction. And two people doing it. It's interesting. It's a man and a woman. The man's name is Peter McGee or McGee, who's involved with Jodie series. He's also part of the production of the box set. And he was saying season 26 was one of his favourites in that. Yeah, he co-wrote the episode last week with Chibnall. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
you wrote that, and yet you're saying how season 26 was? How do you justify writing that stuff?
Yeah.
This woman who's, I don't know her name. She's got sort of red hair, dyed red hair. Both are, I think, anyway, but it doesn't matter. But she's just saying like how brilliant it was, and yet they have written for this excuse for Doctor Who. It just scratches my head because you were just saying how brilliant it was in the past. With such constraints, they made such great stories.
Mm.
Yet you've got not so much constraints now, and you're making such utter abominations.
I tell you what brilliant TV is, right? And I think this is the height of brilliant TV. I don't know if you guys watch Mr. Robot, right? Even if you don't
I watched 1.5 seasons and then
Okay, right. So even if you don't watch Mr. Robot, let me tell you what happened in one episode, which was genius, right? He meets his sister because they're going to go and infiltrate some company so they can put a virus in this thing, right? And when he meets his sister, she's in the car. She says to him, "We don't have to talk." And through the whole episode, there's not one word spoken. Only tension of them getting caught, a chase. Not one word spoken. Not one. And that's how the episode ends. Nobody speaks. Now, that's really clever. Really fucking clever. You see? This is the writing that we need in Doctor Who. We need stuff like that. Don't you agree?
I agree, but I tell you, I was going to bring that up. I've never what channel is that on? I've never heard of it.
It's on
Netflix.
Amazon now. It used to be on Amazon. It's on Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
I tell you one thing I watched recently over Christmas and just watched an episode tonight. I've been blown away by the acting and the series. The Flash, and also Crisis on Infinite Earth, where they crossed over with Arrow, Supergirl, and that.
Yeah, I
Because
kind of come off that. Mm.
I have to say, The Flash, the acting in that is superb. They have, I don't know what their budget is, but I think it might be similar to Doctor Who, but some of their CGI is a little bit off, but it's Doctor Who's. But
Mm.
they have some of the episodes Doctor Who has, in fact, more. I think they have about 26 or something.
Mm.
And the stories, the acting, they're all acted socked off. It's brilliant. I think it pays budget because the guest stars get paid, not the guest stars, the main stars, like
Yeah.
Augustine gets paid a lot. I
Mm.
don't care. They are all socked off.
Yeah, they are really good actors.
They are all of them, and yeah, they are young actors, probably 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
They are all superb. They play the characters if they were real. You can believe in it.
Yeah, even if it's stupid, even if the actual premise of what's going on is stupid, they make it feel real because of their performance.
This is what I've said about Who. In the past, you'd have like Tom Baker's Underworld, not one of the best stories, but he could carry it off.
Mm.
And same as Capaldi and Tennant do it, and
Yeah.
Smith. If it's a bad story, well, then she makes it even worse, I'm afraid.
I mean, they.
Oh, yeah.
You know, do you remember that bit where Tom Baker had those two things and he was going to destroy the Daleks, and he was like, "Do I have the right to destroy the Daleks?"
Oh,
I
Genesis.
mean, that's a classic. That's a classic scene, you know, and also it has so much gravitas. Does he have the right to destroy a race? Right? And Sarah Jane goes, "You do." You know what I mean? You
Right.
do have this right. And he was questioning it. Do you know what I mean? And that just goes to show the level of storytelling in that era compared to what we have now. It's
Yeah,
it's a
but that was
joke.
Terry Nation. I mean, how
Yeah.
many Terry Nations do we have these days? Not
None.
very many.
They're
So-
out there. You just got to find them.
Yeah, I wish we could. I really
Terry
do.
Nation, the combination of, as you say, Terry Nation, Philip Hinchcliffe,
Mm.
and the producer, and Terrence Dicks, I think. If
Yeah.
Robert Holmes, one of them two.
Douglas
Robert
Adams.
Holmes, it was.
Yeah.
Well, great writers. And funny enough, talking about, we were saying a bit before about political, I just watched somebody posted on my Facebook group an interview with Terrence Dick. Said, once you start making a political message, you'll lose the show.
Mm.
And that was the man who wrote absolutely tons and tons of Who.
Yeah.
May he rest in peace. But even JNT could do it better. I mean, he didn't write it, but even he could produce better stuff than
He was a businessman. That man. He knew how to push. He knew how to push Doctor Who, especially when it wasn't when it got taken off the TV, and he did that big thing where where all the doctors were there and the fans, because they didn't think so many people were going to turn up. People were camping out. What was it called? Yeah, people camping out the night before just to see, and even Tom Baker was there. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
He warned the BBC that they were underestimating the crowd.
Yeah,
and he was right, because they didn't take into the fact that how many would turn up, but he warned them. But that man, there's only one thing I say for John Nathan Turner. I met him a few times in real life, and he was always polite and pleasant to me. I never hated him or anything. Some of his decisions I didn't agree with, but man fought tooth and nail to keep Who going as long as he did.
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of like the George Lucas, really, because George Lucas wasn't very good at directing, writing. He just wasn't. But George Lucas knew about his property. He knew where to move it. He knew, he knew who to hire to make his property good. And I think John Nathan Turner, he was the same thing. Even though he didn't write the stuff, he knew who to get within the budget that he had to make the show as good as it could get. In
fact, I'd rather watch Dimensions in Time than this rubbish now. No, I'm going to show off something.
You want to show me something?
Yeah.
Go on then.
Talk about Dimensions in Time. This is the Radio Time cover for 1993.
Wow.
I remember that one. I
It's
don't
signed,
remember that one.
it's signed here by John Pertwee, at the
Mm.
top end we can see, and Colin Baker.
Wow.
Awesome.
Colin Baker was just acceptable there before he really put on weight.
Oh yeah, he's gained a lot of weight.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know this, but he and Sylvester McCoy are the same age at 76.
Wow. Do you know what? You know that fake face thing they do on some. Have you seen some of those YouTube things where they put someone's face on someone else?
Yeah.
I can't remember. They can easily do that if they wanted to bring some doctors back. They could just record the voices.
We talked about that before. I think in another panel at some
Yeah.
point. Yeah. I think that could be interesting.
Yeah, that'd be quite interesting. You know, just as guest stars, like if it's the 60th coming up,
right?
They could easily do that, right?
Like John Pertwee.
Yeah, or Peter Davison, because Peter Davison looked the same.
Right.
Any of them, really, any of them.
Yeah,
but I'm afraid
I would like to see that.
Yeah,
I'd like to see that too, but don't know whether the BBC would do it. I mean, did you see? I mean, when they attempted to do it, sort of at the 50th anniversary at the very end, the Doctor.
Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah.
Even from behind, they didn't look like who they were.
but this is the thing, you see. If you had the right showrunner, right, and Moff has made mistakes, you know, it's easy to. I mean, you can't tell me you can't find someone that looks like the back of, you know, John Pertwee. Do you know what I mean? They're out there. They just don't look very far.
John Pertwee looks like him. In fact, he's even kind of hinted he wouldn't mind maybe. So he's not said yes because his father had such a legacy, but he's not said actually no. He wouldn't play the Doctor. The fans want him to because he looks like.
He said he would be another character. That's what he said.
Yeah. I mean, well, just get someone to look like Tom, but have John Culshaw do the voice.
No, the thing is, though, you would, like for instance, the ones that are dead, you would get Rory Bremer in to do the voices, I guess. But you know, with Tom Baker, he's still alive. He could still do his voice. Yeah,
and Fraser Hines could do Troughton because he does a great Troughton.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Do you know what? Somebody I don't know who he was because he hasn't come to light. In the Day of the Doctor, with someone doing Hartnell's voice, and I didn't realise that wasn't Hartnell's voice at the time.
Wow, really? I didn't either.
Yeah, because I don't know who did the voice, but it wasn't John Culshaw because he can't do a Pertwee and he does Tom, but I don't know who did Hartnell, but he did a very good Hartnell, this person.
Have you seen that? Fan video that they did when, you know, in the 50th, where they're saying this is the Doctor, and then the fan video added all the rest of them, like you know, the old Doctors. Have you seen that one on YouTube? No, it's really good. And when you look at something like that, you think, why didn't they do that in the 50th? You know, include all of them, because they just got clips from other bits. Do you know what I mean? To actually make
it match up at one point because you had, yes, it was McCoy, because you had McCoy in his TV series outfit, then you had McCoy in his movie outfit.
Yeah. That was a mistake, though. Yeah.
Anyway, Mega Geek, would you say Genesis is one of your favourite stories?
Oh God, yes.
Davros is the best?
Yeah, I guess. Why? What you leading up to, mate?
Oh, wow. Wow.
Oh, my Lord.
I am jealous. I have a smaller die-cast one like that, but I think it's from the Tennant era.
He talks as well, there's one. You can get to talk.
Oh. Ian.
I will program them.
There's not Ian. Yeah.
How did he survive when the Daleks? Because I keep forgetting. How did he survive when the Daleks turned against him?
He expected it to happen. He thought, you know, they might turn against him, so he put in like a kind of a force field and a backup.
I see, because he was going to press the red button, wasn't he? And then he gets shot.
He back up because it says at the beginning of Destiny when he comes back, tissue regeneration had already started.
Oh, right, okay.
So that was it.
I couldn't remember.
He's got more to say, this one. He's got more to say.
Has he?
You will tell me the reason for every Dalek defeat. With that knowledge, I will program them. With that knowledge, they will know their errors and how to avoid them. With that knowledge, there will be no defeats. You have the audacity to
That's all it says.
one of my experiments.
Good stuff.
You will be punished for this insubordination.
This came out in the 90s by Product Enterprise.
Yeah.
And it's for years I didn't get it, and then I managed to get it a few years ago on eBay. I got a bargain. But
Wow.
yeah, it's also remote control, so it will go around. It will roll around on the floor like the other day. But I had to.
Yeah, that was brilliant with the Dalek the other day.
Blue Bonnet, do you are you going to be watching? Oh, it's a stupid question, really. Are you going to be watching the last two with the Cybermen or Cyberwomen?
I'm gonna try to get through them all, but you know, it's getting harder and harder every week.
Yeah,
I think the Jadoon one was really the hardest so far.
No, for me, it was when they introduced the other Doctor. That
yeah,
killed it
well,
for
yeah,
me.
that was I said in my video. I think my soul left my body.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was, but once I got past it and just realized, hey, you know what? This isn't Doctor Who. This is not anything close. This is not even close to the tenets of what they were set up to be as Doctor Who. This is something totally different. I'm okay. You know, I got over it. You know,
This episode, I have never been annoyed at a TV program until that one. I was absolutely boiling mad. I thought it was only a TV program, but I was quite blinking or peed off with it.
Yeah, I mean, Noel's right, because Noel says the show saved his life. Of course, I don't know anything about that, but when you're passionate about a show like Doctor Who, I'm telling you right now, it really hurt to see when they revealed the new Doctor and it was a woman.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of hurt for me.
I did.
And then, as I said, in my mind, I was like, let's just give it a chance. And then what really hit the nail in the coffin was that one with the new Doctor. And I thought, no, I can't watch this anymore. This is just crazy. I don't understand how it can get from one point to this. It's so wrong.
Well, the latest rumours that I've heard that I can't actually really discuss right now, as you know, I am privy to some information. Some of it I can actually release and some of it I haven't. But what I will say is, from what I've heard here, right, is if you think that's bad, as they say, you ain't seen nothing yet. I
have a feeling we won't get the payoff for Dr. Ruth this year.
No.
Because Jim said something recently, he doesn't always provide the answer straight away, and he could just do what Moppy used to do, but then that just used to annoy the audience. Not option.
Well, this lad, all I can say to you is Chris Chibnall, if this is true, has totally lost the plot. And I'm being honest with you, if he does do this, then there's only one reason why he's doing it. And it's to annoy me.
Just you.
Just no.
But everybody that doesn't like the direction of this show, he is sticking two fingers up to us. Trust me, if this actually turns out to be true, right, not only am I going to laugh, right, and hopefully I will be able to tell you nearer the time when I'm allowed to say something.
I reckon
I don't know.
Going to be.
All I will say is the information that I got, I don't know if it's happening in this series.
Ruth is going to be before the first Doctor.
If he does this, she's
going to marry you.
It's game over. It's game over. Trust me, because I'll tell you why. It's got to do with a certain. I can't. I'm giving too much away.
Sure,
if
it's all those fans that go, Jodie.
All I'm just going to say is if you think that all this, the two female doctors so far, I know some fans have had a problem with Sasha's casting. I have had no problem with Sasha's casting. And I will actually say I've had no problem with, what's her name, Jo's casting, right? It's not her fault. So obviously she's going to take a role of a lifetime. I don't blame her for that. It's at least with her, she wasn't like Jodie Whittaker. She actually embraced the fandom. You could actually see that she was actually proud to play the Doctor. It
Well,
doesn't
she's a
matter what my
Whovian.
personal
Yeah.
feelings are on a female Doctor or not. She did more in those few minutes than Jodie Whittaker has managed to do in a couple of series. So for me, I didn't have a problem with it, but the problem that I do have is that it's only being done for a certain reason. It's not being done for the betterment of the show. If this was done 10 years ago, we would be praising this.
Yeah,
But
we would.
Yeah.
strategy and inclusion, diversity strategy, wherever that fecking thing is, it's because of that. This is why this is happening, and it isn't fair on Joe because she gave it a good fair whip. She had a little go at Jodie Whittaker, which I think we all enjoyed a little bit, to be quite honest with you, when she had that. So
I respect her because she's actually a Doctor Who fan.
yeah, and
You know, so I have to give her kudos for that.
She's, but I still think she's completely wrong.
Right, I agree.
Doctor.
Yeah.
But but no disrespect to her or anything like that. I just think that the whole idea of 2 female doctors it's really pushing it big time. And also, if Chibnall makes her before Hartnell, it's going to be awful.
I will make it public. I will walk away from it. I have all on Blu-ray, DVD, every episode, except did not buy Series 11. I said, not until it goes down to £1 or 50p.
You won't have long to wait.
Ian, go into
my resolution unless I see it free.
50p now. Go to a charity shop. You'll probably get it there for 50p.
Yeah.
I work in a charity shop and it hasn't come in. And I won't even. I just want to talk about. We were talking about hostile fans to us.
Hostile dog.
The dog doesn't like her as well.
Yeah.
Good dog. Anyway, I had a very nice message on Facebook today, and I'd like to read it to you.
Go on in.
Hi, Ian. Just ordered bought the TARDIS. This is Jodie Whittaker's TARDIS they're bringing out from Forbidden Planet. Can't wait.
Charlie's all right. He's great.
Thanks for the links and reviews you posted. Really appreciated this from this end. From some of the comments, some folk appear to be a little envious. You got one sent to you for free review. Shame, as a reviewer, you should be appreciated, and we would all get one eventually.
That was nice.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, everyone will get one. They started to arrive in Forbidden Planet today. So I'm going to go at me because I got one earlier. Because you got one earlier. You're a hater. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't give a monkeys.
Chris Persia just wrote something, and if they do that, I'm sorry. That's it. I'm done. Well, I'm done now anyway. But I'm just going to hate Doctor Who from now on. If they do this, it's just not going to be good. But anyway.
Oh yeah, I see what he wrote down there.
Yeah.
It really does.
That is a theory that has some. If you look at what's going on, that looks like it could be certainly the way they could go, and that's a bit of a theory of mine. That's what I actually think is going to happen. I actually think we have seen the next Doctor, and that is Ruth's Doctor. I think she'll just take off from Whittaker. I don't even know how they're going to do it, whether it'll be some sort of regeneration energy going into Ruth or the other way around. We don't know. I don't know, but there's no way that she can stay. I'm telling you, there's no way Jodie Whittaker or Chris Chibnall can stay at this stage. The ratings, look at next Sunday's episode is a Monday. Is going to be very, very, and we keep saying it each week, but next week is going to be the tell. Next week is going to be the tell. We've got an episode then go until the finale. We will see. They've made a big point to try to hype these last 2 episodes, BBC America especially, right? So we'll see if they get it bounced. If it continues to go down low, then they know they're in trouble. And then we're in the right position, as I said, to do what we are planning to do. And I think we can get rid of Whittaker. We might be able to get rid of Chris Chibnall, but I'm hoping we can, if enough people get behind what I have planned and other YouTubers, if we get enough of this behind us, then we might be able to change this. I'm telling you. I know some fans out there listening now, some YouTubers probably be slagging me off and saying there's no way you can change the BBC. But what I will say is this: BBC are more vulnerable than they've ever been before. And how I know this, it comes from the same source that's been giving me information on Spyfall and other stuff that I have received over the years. So this has been verified by 3 or 4 different sources that BBC right now are aware that this show has received a huge backlash. You've even seen, I said at the start of the stream, there's been evidence on Twitter, Facebook. We've also seen on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb reviews being taken down, negative reviews being taken down. They've been trying to hide it, but there is one. They do have a weakness, and that's the weakness that we're going to exploit in 2 weeks' time. Now, as I said, for anybody that's just joining the channel, this is the plan. On the night of the 2 episodes, I will have the normal panel as we always do, but I'm going to be going live during the episode myself, along with hopefully, if I've gotten a couple of YouTubers on board, I need more. But if I get the rest of them on board, right, the plan is we're all going to be going live when this episode airs, and we're going to give you a set of instructions for our subscribers. We're going to ask you to do something, and then you are going to go and do that during the episode. Of course, once the plan is revealed, then for the last week, then obviously the other side will probably have their own little thing prepared. But we're hoping once we get enough support for the first week of the end of the series, that by the time we get to the second week, we will have more support and more people will actually back us up on what we're trying to do. So I'll give us more details, as I said, as we get closer to the time. But Doctor Who fans have been saying they want change. And I will say this, no matter what certain YouTubers' personal opinions are about me, if you're the same as me and you actually want to make a difference or to stand up for something, right? This is, as I said earlier, you know, it's about time we did something. It's about time that these people hear their voices. Let's take a stand. Yes, it might be the last stand, as they say, but it's at least it'll be on record, as I said, that we actually made a stand and we didn't sit back and watch this show continue to be destroyed. Where, you know what I mean? So I do firmly believe BBC are vulnerable and weak, and I've been told this. So I do believe we can make a difference this time. The TV license and all gone. I know it's not just BBC's fault, but that coming out this week hasn't helped them at all. They got a backlash for their Christmas schedule, and they've also been accused of their coverage of Brexit and Donald Trump's visits over here, and they've been accused of being one-sided in both of those. So BBC are right now.
The BBC were brought out last November. There was the Remembrance Service were laying the wreaths at the cenotaph.
Mm.
And Boris Johnson made a cock up, and yet didn't show it. They showed a footage of him when he was the Foreign Secretary a few years ago, and then they had to back on that. So they might be vulnerable, but the only one thing I'm thinking of, they have to find masses of savings. Doctor Who is not making the grade like it didn't before in the 80s. They might just think they're better off without it. That's the only thing I'm thinking of.
Why would you want to eradicate a beloved Doctor, though? I don't understand. If this is true, that they're going to rewrite history and have Ruth the first Doctor, or even before the first Doctor, why would you want to do that? I mean, they must be aware that fans are going to be outraged. And
Right, I'll play devil's advocate on this one, right? I'll give you another scenario, right? Here's the scenario. Say you're the BBC, right? And you can see that this is the way entertainment is going, right? So rather than resist it, right? They embrace it wholeheartedly, right? But then they already know what the result is going to be, that the show is already going to fail. And maybe they do want it to fail because deep down then they're probably thinking to themselves, well, if this fails, right, and it keeps failing, then it's the least we could say to the other side, well, we tried, it didn't work. So they could say, let's say, and I'll just throw this out there, say, do a soft reboot and kind of start again. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Maybe BBC decided to do this because they knew that Doctor Who fans would like it. That's why they chose Doctor Who as the
Yeah, but
example.
they're cutting their own throat by doing that
Yeah, I
because
agree with you, and it's a risk to take. But maybe that's why they use Doctor Who as the example to prove that even if you do use a 50-year-old franchise, these type of politics, this type of agenda, these type of things that you want to do just don't work. I'm not saying that's what they are doing. I'd love to think that that's what.
I mean, of all the they could make just tons of money on merchandise if they would just, just
I'd
do
love to go into
do
the
what the
future.
fans want. We don't want this. Real fans don't want this.
No, I'd like to go into the future and see a documentary of this era.
Right.
See the
way,
narrator go, it's shit.
by the way, I just want to say, when we say that fans don't want this, Blue Bonnet will agree with me on this. We're not saying we don't want diversity or inclusion.
No.
What we're saying is,
what I want is
that we don't want what's happening with the show. The kind of you're putting the agenda and the politics first. You're not putting the story first. And if you could write a story around within the as I said, and you want to put the politics in, you do it within the narrative of the story that you're trying to tell. And not only that, though, you give not only one side of the argument, you give also the other side of the argument, or if there's different points of view in the argument, you put them in the episode, but you do it within the narrative of the show. What's happened, as we have said plenty of times on this panel and also on other channels that I've seen, we've all said it. When the stories take a backseat, this is what happens. And that's exactly what has happened. It has taken a backseat to all of this political agenda, social politics, and this is the result. This is not because the fans are, as I said, this is not because fans are racist, misogynistic, homophobic, transphobic, whatever bloody word you have called everybody in this fandom, right? It's not because of that. It's nothing. Doctor Who fans, right? I'll just give you a couple of examples. As I said earlier on, Doctor Who's always been diverse. You can go back to the classic era if you want, and you could pull out a good few examples then, right? But because you J-bots don't know really much about the classic era, we'll concentrate on New Who, right? So in New Who, we had a couple of characters in that show. We had Jenny and Vastra. We also had Mickey Smith. We also had Martha Jones. Because you're saying Doctor Who isn't diverse and there's not enough diversity. But I've already called out like 3 different characters of a diverse nature there, but just ignore all that. What else? You also had that episode in Love and Monsters where your man ends up with the slab, if you want to call that diverse, call that being diverse. But there's been plenty of same-sex couples in Doctor Who, or same-gender couples in Doctor Who. There's also been different characters from, as I said, different cultures, different races out there. Doctor Who has always been diverse. What's happened is it's diversity gone mad. You look at the show now compared to what it was back then. Nobody has a problem with diversity, but when it becomes the main agenda, when the politics and, as I said, the messages that you're trying to hammer home to people become focus. Even the general public, not just Doctor Who fans, but even the general public get bored, and that's what you're seeing in the numbers.
As I said to you, people are just bored. We talk about diversity in that. I'm going back to the classic series now, so whether anyone can like to hear this or stuff. Go back to Sarah Jane Smith's first episode, The Time Warrior. She's quite an independent woman.
Yeah.
She's up in the Middle Ages. What is it? One of the servants, the cook says, "Oh, we'll always be subservient to men," or something like that. And she's a cock and that. Sarah wasn't having any of it. Sarah
Joe
was
Grant,
quite
Joe
independent.
Grant was the same as well.
Yeah.
When she first met Pertwee's doctor, he was kind of dismissive
Yeah,
of
she
her.
told him off quite
And
often.
He told him off.
Yeah.
She had a great character development as well, because you look at Joe from the start, bumbling
Hmm.
little girl, if you like, and how much she just grew over the years to where she left. It went a bit wrong, of course, with Mel.
Oh yeah, but they got it right with Ace.
Oh,
Yeah,
Ace!
yeah,
See,
they did,
Ace
yeah.
is another
Yeah,
one.
Ace was very strong, very independent,
I tell you who I relate
very
to.
smart.
I know I relate to a companion because how she reacted and at times in that was Tegan.
Mm,
I know she was a bit
Tegan.
bored, but I like Tegan very much.
mm.
No, but that's the thing. See, this is what's lost as well with this new era. I mean, you could relate to some characters or identify with some characters because you could identify some of their character traits in you.
Yeah.
Right? Name me, is there any character in New Who now that's part of the main cast that anybody here on this panel can identify or even, have anything in common
Yeah.
with? You know what I mean?
I can identify with all of them.
Yeah.
That they've
Where's
got
these
absolutely no charisma at all.
They're supposed to be
Nothing.
ear, eyes, and ears. You
They
know.
have absolutely got now.
And also,
There's no
with
warmth.
Doctor Who, they used to, the doctors used to, there were some great bits of wisdom in their dialogue. All of them, from every one of them, even what's his name, the little guy. God, my brain's gone on freeze. Sylvester McCoy. Even he had some really great bits of wisdom in his dialogue. With Jodie, there's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. No wisdom, no nothing. It's just flat.
There's lots of rambling.
Yeah.
You don't know. I know. And then when she's trying to figure things out as well, it just because the writing is so poor, you can see this. This is the telling thing. Even if she doesn't act it great, even when she's saying the lines, it's like as if she doesn't truly believe what she's saying herself, and it comes across. And again, I'll say to these fans that think she's absolutely wonderful and she's the best doctor ever. I don't know where you get that from. I mean, she's not even in. She's not. She's the bottom of the list. I'm sorry, but she is the worst doctor that we've ever had. I'm sorry, but that is.
I agree 100%. I mean, Colin Baker, when he came in, I mean, of course, apart from in Dilemma, but then I often joke about that because I thought if Perry would travel with me, I'd strangle her.
Yeah.
Because that winking voice, oh, I'd strangle her. Aside from that,
She's the worst doctor ever. She really is.
she
Do
is.
people in the live chat agree? Who do you think is the worst doctor ever? Give honest opinions, and I'll give a few of you a bit of a shout out there as well. But I'm being honest, I think she is, and I'm not Colin Baker's biggest fan. As you all know, I have actually spoke about some of the stories, the DVDs that I have there, and I've actually spoke about him. He's not a doctor that I like him better in Big Finish, but even he's better than Jodie Whittaker. I'm sorry, she is. I don't get this way. And I've always noticed as well. They always say that she's beautiful, and look at the light shining on her face when she's in the.
Shut up, no, that's too much.
You get the way is bunch of no.
I honestly think that Sylvester McCoy and Jodie Whittaker are the worst doctors.
No, Sylvester was good. I wouldn't trust his doctor. I want to ask Noel a question about Colin Baker, if I may.
Go on in.
No, what do you think of Mark of the Rani?
Oh, right. Okay. I actually tried to watch that online one night. I literally got 10 minutes in and I just knocked it off. Even the opening sequence is ridiculous. I'm not a fan of Colin Baker, so I'm not going to sit here and say that I've watched every single one of these episodes more than once, because I haven't. The only reason why I have some Colin Baker DVDs is because they were there and I decided to go and have a look at the stories to see if I thought he was as bad as I remember him when I was a kid. When my dad watched it, actually, my dad even switched off watching Doctor Who after Colin Baker. He started watching then a little bit of McCoy, but then by that stage, my dad had lost all interest. But for me, when it comes to stories, I mean, I have the two Doctors there. It's absolutely atrocious.
Oh, that was
Yeah, it's terrible.
the way
Yeah.
Troughton is a delight in it. Troughton is a delight in it. But it's just Colin Baker for me. No. He's like, look, he's not. I prefer him in Big Finish, to be quite honest. I've listened.
a lot do. Yes, that's the trouble that happened to Colin.
That's the thing. That's why he redeems himself for me, though, because his Big Finish is great. So that's why Jodie Whittaker therefore by default becomes the worst Doctor, because she hasn't done Big Finish, so we don't know if she would actually improve her Doctor if she did the Big Finish. I doubt it very much, because I don't think she'd actually have the gravitas in her voice even to be a voice actress, to be quite honest with you. Like Tom Baker has that voice, commanding voice.
She has. You just hasn't changed.
But I don't.
How old is Jodie?
How old is Jodie?
Yeah.
34, 35, I think.
Yeah, she's younger than me. Yeah. When she was around, apparently there was no female leads on TV. Sure, there was fucking Buffy the Vampire.
37 she is.
There was what else was there? There was Xena, Warrior Princess. She also, in the movies, you had Sarah Connor at that stage kicking ass in Terminator.
Alien?
Not Terminator. No, because Sarah Connor, that was the 80s. What am I talking about? 90s we're talking about. You had Mulder and Scully. You had your woman bleeding in X-Files. She was the lead. I'm trying to say that there wasn't many lead female characters when she was growing up as a kid, and women were in the corner there looking at them.
This is the thing. I think with the Jodie character, they treat her, she acts too young and too childish. You know, I mean, all the Doctors that came before her, they had commands. They had something dark about them. Every one of them, right? But Jodie, I think they've written her too young, like she's a teenager running around like being a teenager.
And if Doctor Who was real, right, and if she turned up in the TARDIS to save me, I would actually just get a gun and pull the trigger myself and actually save her all the bother, because she'll mess it up and I'll end up dying anyway. So I'll just save her all the bother and just put a bullet in my own head, because that way then it saves her from messing it up, because that's the way she's written. This Doctor, it's Christian all the way he's written. I don't know why he writes her Doctor incompetent. She gets
also
for her, and then she comes blundering in right at the end and then saves everybody.
Also, the other Doctors, right? They were very mostly most of the times they were detectives. They would look at certain things and detect and figure out certain things and stuff like that. But she never does any of that. She comes in, she talks, she actually literally tells you what's happening in the story by talking about it all the way through. And there's no trying to figure out something. There's no trying to, she's just wrong. The way they've written her character is completely and utterly wrong.
I just give up. I mean, when Cheryl was on the other night, she could remember the character from the other night. I couldn't remember one of them, except the usual four morons. Wooden plank, less of a wooden plank, and total plank.
Do you know why they had 3 companions with this new Doctor? It's because if they had the one companion and they flipped it and they had a male companion, then that would be boyfriend and girlfriend thing, and they didn't want that. They wanted something to be more diverse.
I think it goes a little bit deeper than that, to be quite honest, mate. I think the reason why they have 3 companions is because they know Jodie Whittaker actually has no screen presence.
None of them do either.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. You look at every other series, the main focus has been mostly on the Doctor or whoever the Doctor is fighting. In this one, you can clearly see there's an attempt to jump from one companion to the next, Jodie Whittaker, when they're not together. It's because she doesn't have the gravitas, so they try to spread it out so it doesn't look as obvious. Do you know what I mean? If she was put with one companion, and it doesn't matter whether it was male or female, or even if she was brought in 2 young companions, it doesn't matter that she's not going to have the screen presence. She doesn't have the screen presence. That's why Bradley Walsh was brought in to kind of hold her hand. And then you had Tolson Cole and Manip Gill to be brought in so they could not only like satisfy a certain demographic of this fandom, but also because, you know, they could spread out the scenes and Jodie Whittaker wouldn't be always the focus. Remember, a lot of people on this panel have said when Jodie Whittaker is not in a scene in the episode, it's actually not bad. It's when she comes on then and she blunders in and then the scene falls flat. And that's not many companions because she's just not capable. I'm sorry. I know you think Mega Geek she's a good actress. She probably is in the field that she's in, but Doctor Who is about 3 or 4 levels above what she's used to, and she is way over her head, and it's coming across as that. And I'm not saying for 1 second that she's not trying her hardest with this role, because you can actually see that she is trying. The problem is, though, because she is trying, you can see that it's not working. It's not working because the writing is just so bad. But not only that, she just can't elevate a script like a Peter Capaldi or a David Tennant or a Matt Smith. She just doesn't have the acting chops for Doctor Who.
Well, in
Broadchurch, Black Mirror, and all those shows, and maybe a Saint Trinian's movie.
Right. So in my defense, right, you look, you can't have a house with a foundation, right? If you don't have a foundation, house is going to fall, right? Now, in my defense, and I'm not defending Jodie, I think Jodie is a good actress, but I also think that she doesn't have the structure around her. She doesn't have the foundation to be a good doctor. You know, they've given her bad scripts. She's hardly directed. I can tell you that for a fact because I know how these TV shows are made, right? She's managed badly. Now the question is, if she was managed well, right? If her character was deep and dark, right? Would she be better than she is now? And in my opinion, well, hold on. And in my opinion, she could be, right? That's all I'm saying. She could be, you know.
I don't think so. I think people have kind of changed their, you know, what makes a good doctor. I think the level, you should be at a certain level. I mean, even Matt Smith, yes, he was an unknown when he came in, though. He did everything necessary. I mean, he could play, for example, right? The doctor's supposed to be ancient, yeah. Someone said in the comments there she's supposed to be ancient, but she doesn't come across as that. Matt Smith did. Matt Smith was a young doctor, but he came across as an old. You knew.
Yeah, but he was given great scripts. He was given great scripts. He was given a great platform.
I know. I can understand why you're defending her, but I do still think that the Doctor Who is above her pay grade.
No, well, we have to agree to disagree there because as I said, with every actor. Okay, if you don't have a good foundation and a good script, then you can only do what you can only do. And plus, they've given her the character of mindless child, a child that doesn't even know what a tongue is in the first episode. What's this? It's a tongue. You know, it's ludicrous writing. Now, I've seen her in other stuff, and she is a very competent, I wouldn't say she's brilliant, very competent actress.
In other things.
But
I think
you're missing the point, Mega Geek. In roles that she's actually that's at her pay at her level.
How is an actor supposed to be any good unless they've been given a chance?
Point out again, in Broadchurch, she wasn't the main casting choice. In Black Mirror, she wasn't the main casting choice. She was part of an ensemble cast. The hospital nurse drama that she was in, she was part of an assembled cast. She has never done anything of her own where she
all actors when they start off is part of a cast before they get cast as the main star. Now you're just saying stuff that's happened for years and years. Julia Roberts was in many of films before she became Julia Roberts. The point I want to make is that once they give her a chance.
Hang on, Jodie Whittaker is 37 now, right? If she hasn't actually become a better actress than she was when she first started out, which I don't think she has, because if you look at her stuff, she doesn't change. There's no she's not dynamic in any way. She's one-dimensional. She's the same nearly in everything that she portrays. She was even rubbish in Attack the Block. I've seen her in loads of stuff. I've seen her in loads of stuff.
Sorry,
She is just not a look at. She's great for what she's in, right? But she's not great in Doctor Who. This is above her pay grade. She should be in EastEnders or Coronation Street. That's her level. This is not her level. This show was one of the biggest shows that BBC had. There's a certain expectation on the actor and actress that takes over. For God's sake, every actor and actress that's taken over since New Who has been scrutinised.
If you think that,
Christopher Eccleston was scrutinised, right? He was also people criticised his choice of costume, right? David Tennant was criticised as well, right? They criticised David Tennant. A lot of people thought he was an over actor and wasn't suited for the role. He proved everybody wrong. Matt Smith, unknown, nobody knew about him, right? But he did and said all the right things. He went and he did it, and he blew everybody away with his first episode, his first performance as the Doctor. We're still waiting on Jodie Whittaker to do it after 2 series.
I'll give you Tom Ellis, right? Tom Ellis. Hold on, wait. Tom Ellis.
She's done 25 films in Mega Geek.
Yeah.
So she's got experience. She's done, and she's had.
No, that's not what I said. She has experience.
She has experience.
Of course, what I'm saying is that if you're not given the chance to be a lead, right? If you're not given the chance, then everyone starts off small first, right? Look at Tom Ellis, right? Tom Ellis was in that stupid show with Miranda, right? He started off in Miranda, right? Yeah. No one thought that he would be good in a lead, right? Until he got offered it in America. Right?
Fair enough.
What I'm saying.
Remember? Well, hang on, Mega Geek. He hit the ground running, and let's be honest, his show is very good, and he's actually a talented actor. The difference is that Jodie's had 2 years, and she still hasn't hit the ground running, and we're still actually questioning whether she's good enough or not. I'm sorry, but if you're still questioning someone, and I know, and I will take your point, that this is her first role and she has to be given a chance. But Doctor Who was the wrong show to give her that first chance. She should have been.
Everyone deserves a chance.
In a different show first, to show a diverse acting range, but she wasn't, right? They just threw her straight in. And by the way, might I add as well, just to say that Jodie Whittaker wasn't Chris Chibnall's first choice, and everybody knows that. So
what was his first choice?
His first choice was actually Olivia Colman.
Right, he didn't want to do it,
and he's come out and said that himself. So Jodie Whittaker wasn't even his first choice. So even he knew that she had her limit.
Oh, bless you.
I'm just saying, this was the wrong show. I do agree with you. Every actress and actor needs that one show or that one movie where it's all about them and they can shine. The difference is that Jodie Whittaker shouldn't have got it with Doctor Who. She should have got it with another show, built up an audience, built up a fandom that actually enjoy that show that she does. This was the wrong show to do. This is an established show. She should have been given a new show to show her acting ability. And then when people are ranting and raving about her, like they rant and rave about Jodie Comer, then you could say, okay, she's right for the role for the Doctor. But they didn't do that. They shoehorned her in when they didn't get her their first choice. And this is what we're left with. And that's why I have a problem with it. That's why I have a problem. And she hasn't changed in 2 years. She's still acting the same. That has no development. Yes, I do agree the writing.
Because she's
the direction. I agree with you. I'm not saying I disagree.
Well, if you agree with me, then you must agree there must be a possibility that she could get better if she had the best foundation to start off with in the first place.
Yeah, but
that's what I'm saying.
McCoy then. Sylvester McCoy started off with not very good. By the second year, though, he hit the ground running and he didn't stop.
That's my point.
Well, I disagree. I didn't like Sylvester McCoy at all.
Listen, guys, I have to materialise.
Okay, you're gonna change into somebody else?
No, Jodie. I got one last thing to show you because then I must go.
Okay, matey.
Next thing.
Oh,
Peter Davison. Look at that. That is amazing.
I remember that. Those are things you stick in there and you go like that, isn't it?
No,
yeah, I remember them. Yeah.
We see in Ireland we didn't have any of that stuff.
We did.
The Viewmasters.
If it was around, my parents didn't bring me anywhere to get any of that stuff. Well, Irish in Ireland, you were kind of poor, so like you'd be
Yeah.
looking. You got
It's never
Chris
on in Ireland.
Ireland
But,
compared.
this was before the times of VHS and DVDs and Blu-rays. So you'd put this into a device and you'd hold it up to the
Yeah.
light and get
Yeah,
3D images
Yeah.
of the episode. And this episode is Castrovalva. Did two of them. Tom Baker's Full Circle and this one. So it used to be great. You could look through it and see images in 3D. Actual, not just artwork, proper images from the story. Step
Yeah.
step. That was quite good. Anyway,
You know what I like about this show here, right? See, Mega Geek. Mega Geek has very strong opinions, and so do I. But the thing about it is, I'm not going to fall out with him because of his opinion.
Exactly. Nor am I going to fall out with you.
At the end, I don't agree with everything he's saying. I know he doesn't agree with everything I say, but at least we were able to have a healthy debate about it.
That's
And
right.
you got to hear both sides of the argument there. So, I love that. And you know what? That's why I bring it on Mega Geek, because you do.
Cool.
Because it's nice to have someone here that's not as militant as myself and others on this panel. So it's nice to get someone in there that kind of does store it up a little bit, and I love it.
Yeah, well, we have to agree to disagree, and we have to respect everybody's opinions as
That's
well.
it, and I do respect it. I just, unfortunately, right now, I do disagree. I mean, Raymond Williams has put up, she has had 16 episodes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I mean. And they've been 16 55-minute episodes. So it's a lot. All I'll just say is, yes, I do agree with some of your points. She is directed badly. She is given poor scripts. Oh, Ian has to go.
Yeah.
Right, listen, Ian, we will throw your channel up. Thanks for joining us again.
Well, thanks for having me again. I'll speak to you soon, everybody.
Take it easy, Ian.
See you, Megan.
See you later, mate. See ya.
We're gonna finish up now shortly anyway. But all I'll just say is this: it doesn't matter anyway whether it's the writing Jodie Whittaker or whatever it is. Right now, the show is not doing well, and there's a problem. Right, that we can all agree on that. There's a problem with Doctor Who, and we all have different opinions on why there's a problem with Doctor Who, and that's what the great thing is about this fandom. We do all have different opinions, and I'm glad we're able to kind of still have a healthy debate in this Doctor Who fandom, because it's I'm getting sick and tired of fucking idiots and throwing back insults at you. You know what I mean? You didn't see me and Mega Geek throw insults at each other. You know what I mean? That's how you do it. If you want to have a constructive argument with any of us on this side of the fandom, we're more than welcome to get into a nice healthy debate with all you J-bots. But no, you see, is on a sling mud. So then we do the same, and then we get nowhere, and then it's all ridiculous. And now look at us all. Yeah. But look, looking forward, I know Ian had to go, and Blue Bonnet, I just want to give a shout out to Blue Bonnet.
Yeah.
Blue Bonnet left us a private message. She said that she had an emergency and had to go.
She had wanted to ask her a question.
And but everything, I thought it might have been something really serious. It is serious, but it's not family serious, because they have had problems in the family with the mammy. So it's not the mammy, it was something else just popped up that she had to sort it out. So listen, Blue Bonnet and Ian, thank you for actually popping on tonight. It was actually short notice, and you both popped on, so I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I love coming on the show.
So let me see who we got. We've got a few people giving you a shout out there. So much respect, Nolan and Mega Geek. We need more amazing people like you guys in this world. So much respect, truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. Keep up the amazing
thanks, Galaxy Man.
Thanks very much. I really appreciate that. Look, as you can see from even me and Mega Geek's little debate there, how both of us are very passionate about our sides of the argument, and this is what I love about Doctor Who. What I used to love about the Doctor Who fandom back in the day. You could always have these debates, and there was no personal insults flung. There was no, you weren't labeled. You know, all these labels that you're labeled. It's it's actually quite sad, really, because this is what the fandom can do: have healthy debates and
It used to be like that a long time ago.
and still be friends. And he'll be on again, Mega Geek, because Mega Geek will be on every time when I ask him to come on. He has no problem coming on. So this won't be the last time you see Mega Geek on this channel, just because we've had different views on Jodie Whittaker. I've always been quite militant about Jodie Whittaker, and I can put my hands up and say that. And I know Jodie does have some, even on this side of the fandom, that do say it's not all her fault. I'm not saying it's all her fault. I'm not. And I think everybody knows that. I think what I'm just trying to say, after 2 years, I don't see any progression.
Yeah.
That's my, and I know I do take your points on board, direction and the stories, but even with Jodie Whittaker herself, there's no personal development. There's no, the character hasn't moved on. Yes, obviously the writing is bad, but I mean, you don't even see it in her performance. And I don't know, me personally, as I said, and I know you disagree, but I still do think Whittaker, it's not just her, she's not the biggest problem. We both will agree on that one.
Yep.
And these writing team are definitely the biggest problem here. But I will say one thing with you. You do bring up a very interesting point, and it is one that is interesting to explore. Would Jodie Whittaker, that's the thing. And the sad thing is, though, here's the thing, we will never know. That's the thing. We can say this, but we'll never know if Jodie Whittaker could have been and proved us all wrong. With a different showrunner and a different writing team. And if there wasn't all this agenda in it, could we have gotten a better Jodie Whittaker Doctor? Me personally is not where I think, but I'm going to ask some of you guys in the live chat. Do you think if Jodie Whittaker had a different showrunner, say an RTD or Stephen Moffat were her showrunner, right? And all the political agenda bullshit and all this other crap that they want to run the show,
they say no. They say no.
And it was just purely the stories. What do you think?
Everybody's saying no.
I already see Maxo is saying no.
Yeah.
Is having none of it as well. She could have had one good scene as a good actress, says Lauren. Maxo is making sure that we get the point that he says no.
Yeah.
Matthew Pounder, one of my few closest people that I can rely on, but also trust, and has been in the trenches with me on Facebook, also says nope. Spitfire Mark says yes, if RTD had have written it. And Maxo again, just making sure that I've got the message. No. Beats means Hoys. Seeing what you did there. I see what you did there. Beans means Heinz. Like baked beans, by the way. She isn't invested in Doctor Who. She refused to watch the previous shows, so no. Yeah, she did, and it was unfortunate that she actually came out with that comment. She probably should have kept that to herself. That's the thing.
She should.
Things like that, bit of cop on. Moons of Madness says she could be a better companion.
Yeah.
Point. Yes, I think she would. Do you know what? Believe it or not, I don't think she would have made a bad villain, an accidental villain. Now, she wanted. I think how she got it was she auditioned to be a villain, and then when Olivia Colman obviously turned it down, they turned to her. But she auditioned to be a villain. So the good, the bad, and the Dave says she should have played it serious instead of being a goofy doctor.
Yeah, but that's my point. My point is that she was told. Obviously, she was told, and it was written that way. She should play goofy doctor, and if it wasn't, maybe, who knows? You know, if she didn't play it that way, she might have been good. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah,
what I'm
Raven
saying.
Phillips says, had she done Matt Smith and studied the character, then probably yes. Leland says, she might have been an okay companion or a unit regular, but never the Doctor. Daniel says, no, never in a month
And
of
for Sundays.
Spitfire says, and if they had a female Doctor much earlier. See, this is the problem. I mean, if they had done this in the classic era, then obviously fans wouldn't have a problem with it today because it'd be part of the classic era. Or if it was done when RTD brought it back,
Yeah.
you know, because again, at that time, BBC wasn't all about its politics and its ticking boxes. It was actually about making good, decent entertainment. I think then, I know there's some die-hard fans that wouldn't watch a female Doctor whatsoever, but if it was done back in 2005, I really do think that some would actually get behind that. And I think the show, we wouldn't be in the turmoil that we're in today.
Yeah.
You know, but again, it's all speculation. We will never know because some people do believe, like myself, that the Doctor shouldn't change gender.
I believe that. I'm with you there.
Mega Geek actually does believe that, even though he does defend Jodie Whittaker. And fair play to him, because you stick to your guns. No, because I like that. You stick to your guns, and you do know your stuff. So, you know, it's again, I just wish this nightmare was over, and then we could actually talk about how great the actual stories are instead of like, you know, how bad everything is. I'd rather be sitting here in front of you guys on screen. That's why I don't be on screen as much anymore. Someone said to me last night, "Oh no, it was great to see you on screen with Cheryl the other night." Yeah, because if you see me face, I'm just sad. I'm just depressed right now.
Well, if you go on my channel, you can see what I look like. There's loads of behind the scenes stuff on my channel. So if you want to know what I look like.
But there you go. And yeah, and don't forget to subscribe to Rebecca Gall's channel. By the way, Daniel's become a huge fan.
Yeah, I know. Thank you very much, Daniel.
Right, how long have we got? Right, we're nearly coming up to the end of this stream tonight, guys. She could play a decent Daleks as Matthew Pounder, then we wouldn't have to see her scrunch face. Yeah, Daniel. Matthew, can I ask you this question? Because obviously, in the early days, we were on Facebook in the trenches there, defending this show, fighting the good fight until I came onto YouTube. If they had done this in 2005 when Doctor Who came back and cast a female Doctor, because I know your opinions are kind of similar to mine. So I'm just wondering, if they had done this in 2005, would you still have a problem with it?
You mean if they cast a female Doctor back then?
They brought the show back in 2005 instead of Christopher Eccleston. If RTD had explained or done any second series, we got a male Doctor. Say we got Christopher Eccleston's Doctor, but instead of David Tennant, he did something in Series 1 that meant that this next regeneration was going to be female. Do you think you would have had a problem back then in 2006? It would have been 2006.
I think they would have been a problem in that time because I think any time you replaced Doctor with a female Doctor, you would have had a problem, definitely. But it wouldn't have been so prevalent as it is now. That's what I think. Because
I suspect from Matthew, he's going to actually say it wouldn't. He'd still have the same opinion. He's like me. It is. Look, whether I'm sorry that some women out there are butthurt, right? That that us guys have a male character for over 50 years, and that somehow has rubbed them up the wrong way all of a sudden. I'm sorry he's a butthurt about that. But at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, that is what the reality has been, and the show has been successful because of that. Soon as he's gender swapped, you see what happened. It's gone down the pan in 2 series. So I mean, look, you can, as I said, people could try and defend this casting decision. It was wrong.
Yeah.
Piers Wenger also should be ashamed of himself for actually giving Chris Chibnall the job in the first place. And of course, Matthew says, as I thought he would, yes, it totally contradicts the series continuity. Exactly.
It does. It really does. But that's just us, isn't it? I mean, obviously a lot of people disagree with us, but that, yeah.
Have people write up messages saying F canon. They don't care about canon. It's all about the politics for them and ticking all those boxes.
Yeah.
So that's all it is about. Yeah.
Rightio.
Nice. I think we're going to head off now. I hope you have enjoyed the stream tonight. Let me see. Hold on. Just before I go, I've just seen something popped up on my screen there. No problem. So what we'll do is we'll just, before I sign off, I'll just let Rebecca Gold, our mega geek, a little bit about his channel. We'll let him go, and then I'll just stay on for a few more minutes. So just let everybody know what your channel is, what you do in the channel. And I wanted to ask, are you doing other stuff on your channel?
No, well, not this year. Because I work. I believe it or not, I work as a director. So I'm working constantly. But hopefully next year there'll be something else out. But I appreciate if you can subscribe to Rebecca Gold, obviously, and I guarantee you'll enjoy what you watch. It's only 5 episodes, and we all saved up to make it, and it's a female character, but it's not woke. Put it that way. So tune in and let me know what you think.
Yeah, Daniel is asking you. Are you going to have a series? When is series 2 out?
That's the thing. We can't do it this year because Katie, who's the main star, she's basically she's got a lot of work on. In fact, she's going to be in a feature film, so she's kind of bogged down with work. So it might have to be next year. Yeah. There
you go, Daniel. Something for you to look forward to, though. Something for you to look forward to. Listen, we will throw your channel up. It's been a pleasure having you on as usual.
Thank you very much, Noel. I appreciate it, mate.
And we will talk to you very, very soon, my friend.
Yeah, I'm off. Listen, guys, thanks very much for sticking out with us, and have a good evening. Cheers, Noel. See you later, mate. Take it easy. Bye.
Listen, guys, I hope you have enjoyed tonight's stream. It actually was a good little conversation. Got a little bit, heated, but there's nothing wrong with a bit of a healthy debate. I actually enjoyed this stream tonight. It was nice. I know we're still talking about the show, about how bad it is, but I thought this conversation we covered a lot of ground tonight. Now I'm back on Friday. I don't know what's happening with Picard yet. I don't know if I'm going to be on the Rabbi's channel reviewing the next episode. I'm pretty sure we will be. So that's to look forward to as well. Might have a surprise stream over the weekend for you, as an extra stream over the weekend myself as well. Because I just feel in good humor this week for some weird reason. Everything has just been this week hasn't been a bad week. Do you know that? Considering what's happened for the last 2 weeks, it's been a good week. Now it could go to shit now because I've said I've had a great week and they'll just want to try ruin it for me. But yeah, it's been a good week so far. Listen, guys, if there's anybody new watching tonight, do us a favor. If you do like what you've heard tonight, and we do a lot more panels. We have a panel on Sunday for when the episode drops, Doctor Who. Come and join us for that. We will have a panel and we'll be there dissecting this rubbish for you guys. There's going to be so Cyberman War, apparently last 2 episodes. If anybody wants further information actually on that story, go to the Mirror newspaper. As I said, I've actually told people to look out for the Mirror on this channel even a couple of months back, if you remember. Actually, I should try to fish out that video. Do you remember a couple of months ago I told you to look out for papers like the Mirror, the Sun? I says because they were sitting on the story and they'd be given an exclusive. Well, they got their exclusive. The Cyberman War. Apparently, we're going to have a Cyberman War for the last 2 episodes. Tell you one thing though, BBC are throwing everything at this. Chris Chibnall has whether they've been crap, but except for Sasha as the master, but he's throwing everything at this as well. So I mean, it still hasn't worked the ratings. Captain Jack, he said the Daleks are not in it. They're obviously in that special. So we'll have to see. I'm looking forward to the weekend anyway. We'll see what happens with this episode. It's going to be very interesting. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Hit that like button if you haven't already. All your support is much appreciated. And also later on, obviously, when it goes up onto the channel, you can leave an comment in the comment section if you want as well. Listen, enjoy the rest of our week. I'll talk to you the weekend. Have a good one, and I will see you all pretty soon.
You have all been watching the official Tardis Zone. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Do not forget to comment, like, share and subscribe for more Doctor Who content.